Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I would be so ungrateful. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I would be so ungrateful. Thank you, Jesus. Only Kanya. There is no other God. Every other God, the so contemplate. I try to feel me. I try every other God, and he all let me down. They'll say, I should give something for something. Nothing up on the sacrifice before they can bless me. One day I met you, you never asked before I die. You keep on showering your blessings all over me. If I don't praise you, if I don't worship you, what's that one that be? I am in Kadobeba. Tato, 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 Kaya Wario, Tato, 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 Kaya Wario. You are my light, you are my light. Daddy, you uphold my trust. You are my strong, you are my defender, you are my provider, everything now you. If I don't praise you, who else will I praise? If I don't worship you, who else will I worship? Hey, você monta do pé, you vai a me tá do pé ba, tato. Yes, I want my young body. If I don't praise you, who else will I praise? If I don't worship you, who else will I worship? Hey, what's the matter to be? You can't let me tato beba. Tato, yes, I want my young body. Tato, Tato, for all you have done. Hey, Tato, I need to pay to you. Tato, you are the great God. Tato, Kaya Wario. Tato, yes, Tato, what if Kanya? Hey, Tato, you are the great Tato, Tato, Kaya Wario. Tato, yes, Tato, Kaya Wario. Tato, yes, Tato, nothing I can tell you about. Kaya Wario.
Salut les femmes, je suis l'arrangeur Lpr-Tv. Au monde entier, je révèle un talent caché qui est Jean-Louis Devine, l'aveugle chanteur. En tout cas, c'est un grand talentueux. Oui, il a fait une chanson à Mobile Production, voilà. Et Mobile Production, c'est une structure qui est créée pour les jeunes qui sont dans le démon, pour les jeunes de l'US et tout. Mobile Production est là pour produire les jeunes talentueux, cachés, que les gens ignorent. Donc notre devoir, c'est de produire des talents cachés. Alors, il a fait un son pour Mobile Production.
Arrangeur Lpr-Tv. le don de Dieu pour la musique de l'Ouest. Je te détesterai jamais. Jamais, jamais, au grand jamais. Mon bien production. Abia dia au bois. Amunyandro. Moi, toi, Pierre. Moye, Pierre, mon moye. Moye, Pierre, mon moye. A toi, Pierre, qui a volé. Pierre, mon moye. Ah, Pierre, oui. Ndato Pierre, se prononcé. A toi, Pierre, qui a volé. A quoi, oh. Moye, Pierre, mon moye. Moi, ça vaut ça, il connaît. Mon moye. Pierre, dit mon wéré. Mandoye, mo. Ah, Pierre, dit mon wéré. Mandoye, mo. Eh, Pierre, oui, Pierre, oui, Pierre, oui, oui. Ah, qui a wéré. Pierre, mon moye. Moye, oh, Pierre, moye, oh. Pierre, moye, oh. Pierre, qui a wéré, ba. La poche, qui a wéré. So, non, tu n'es humblé. Mon blé, amando, let's appeler. Mon équipe à yon nez, mon wadia qui va yon nez, Dieu, le bonnet n'a qu'à yon po. Si à vous tienne, de canyon, canyon de cordon, c'est pas du pléa. Pierre, mon moyen, Pierre, mon moyen, Pierre, mon moyen, mon garba, oh y'a ça, moyen, Jiblo, no pigeon, boba, Gerbono. Ma boye blé, Pierre, ouais, Pierre, mon moyen, mon blé production. Oh, Pierre, mon blé production. À ça, au clano, y'a quel homme au côté. Pierre, mon moyen, Pierre, mon moyen, Pierre, mon moyen, Ericona, Pierre, moyen, ah, Charlie Cona, Pierre, moyen, ah, toi, Pierre, moyen.
And sort of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you. Beautiful Sunday here. But you know, if you're following the news, what is happening here in the East Coast and other parts, the storm is ongoing. But notwithstanding, we are hanging in there. And by the grace, we will overcome. So just bear with us, and we're going to get this going here. Just hold on 1 second. All right, so we're going to get this here. Today we're going to take a little bit different turn. Usually politics, senators, representative, how do you call it? What's the amount? 30K, 15K, all of that. But there are others who have devoted time to give back to the country and also make an impact. One of them is a friend and brother, Sir Ellis Devine, was recently honored with a distinct honor in Accra, Ghana, where he was accompanied by the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. So you're going to be here very shortly so we can get this program going. That's a certificate that is called the Africa Advancement Forum. It's a very, very big organization. Usually it's high profile. Helen Johnson Sully was nominated. Dr. John Goodluck of Ghana, not Ghana, Nigeria as well. They were all nominated. So let's see here. I'm going to be breaking my guest here very shortly. He's standing by. Let's get this ball rolling here. We have no time to waste here. But the honoree himself, he took the flag of the Republic of Liberia. He's a goodwill ambassador. Sir Ambassador Ellis Devine Jr. is the executive director, Youth for Change. The profile is huge. Let me go there. Ambassador, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing loud and clear.
Loud and clear. Okay. Well, good evening from the motherland of the Republic of Liberia. And we say welcome on the Liberia Public Radio. The name is not strange, but the title too much, man. I can't. There's no way that I can go through that effectively before I
No,
left
please.
out. So I don't mean to do this, but every now and then we have new faces on this network, and so it is important that when we bring guests, it might sound so redundant, but to introduce themselves, and then we'll get right down to the wire.
Just micro. Okay.
Yeah, very good. It looks good.
Is it okay?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, go ahead. It's perfect.
Okay. What's the
Yeah, I was
question?
just asking just to have a brief intro about yourself, because the diary that I have here, I can't effectively do that.
Okay, my name is Alex Devine. I am a Liberian. Was born here, raised here, never traveled before. This funny thing was my first time ever to sit in a plane. That was just on Thursday. It was the first time ever. I grew up here. I am a youth developer by profession. I run an organization here called Youth for Change Incorporated. I'm a graduate of the University of Liberia. Of course, I'm a candidate currently trying to do my master's in international relations. And I'm the executive director of Youth for Change Incorporated, an institution that is geared to developing, mentoring a lot of young people across this country. We run a most famous program called the Liberia National Debate Championship, which is a very most famous program of our institution. We go across the country. We worked in all high schools across the 15 counties of Liberia. We had an opportunity to take some of our students here in South Africa in 2017 to represent Liberia for the first time at the Africa Debate Championship. We came third in our tournament. 14 African countries gathered there in South Africa in 2017, and Liberia ranked 10 in our tournament. We came back in 2018. We had an opportunity to go to Croatia to participate in the World Debate Championship. So then last year I launched another program under my company called the Icon. The Icon was basically a space that is created to find hidden talent and showcase them to the world. So with all those things I've done over time, I'm guided by some thoughts and philosophies. And one of the things I'm guided by is that when you have something to offer your generation, the world stops to listen. And that philosophy is coined specifically to remind me that no one is the universe, or no one is responsible. I'm supposed to compel them to respect me, but the things that I do will attract the kind of respect to me. So over the years, the little things we've been doing in our country, there are a lot of institutions probably that I've been watching. Like I always tell young people, I say the word you see does not talk, the word listen, and the word rewards, work, impact. So over the time with the little work we've been able to do in 2017, I was, first of all, awarded by the Uniting World Humanitarian Day in the US. It's a big organization that scout and look for young people that are doing an amazing job across the continent. I was named as Liberia's first global good ambassador based on the work that we've done. I think that's what you were displaying on the screen there. That was in 2017. It was named as, Liberia's first global good ambassador. And after that, just this year, along the way, there are many other different organizations that have awarded me as ambassador. In Liberia, there is an organization here that is headed by the Honorary UN Parliament. They make sure you've exposed. Of course, I'm another ambassador, and then I'm an ambassador for the Liberia Movie Union as well. Then
you see exactly what I was talking about, because I couldn't have gone through all of that, Darren, believe me.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to hold it right there. Our team of contributors and analysts, they are already here. Let's get the program going right away. Good evening, folks. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners, our analysts, contributors. They are here. I have followed extensively Ambassador Devine to work. With us is Professor Asese Labo-Zawlo, is the senior contributor of the Liberia Public Radio here. And one of the young persons that through him, I managed to know exactly who you are. I'm not sure whether they're going to be a surprise. He's a young scholar. I have dealt with them. Maybe I can say through your work. Student John Sebe is joining us from the Kingdom of Morocco, who is also the president of the Liberian students. He can better tell us who is Devine because he's a living testimony. Gentlemen, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to this conversation. Today we'll try to pull politics aside because politicians like Professor Zawlo, then they have not done good here in the past. So we want to see how we can go into the young generation. John, you want to unmute your microphone? Professor, good afternoon, welcome.
Thank you very much, and thanks to our guests. Welcome to you guys.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, John, are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I managed to reach out there because I believe the connection in, first of all, getting to know you was through Ambassador Devine. And so there's no way that we can have this sort of conversation without you being part of this conversation. That's the beauty of Liberia Public Radio. We are not that much selective. However, we are selective in terms of what people want to give out. So we don't just give our platform to Senator, Representative, Minister, Director. We haven't gotten anything much. But people are doing extraordinary job, and there's a need. We call our government and other good people attention to really tap into them. And that happens to be Ambassador Devine. We are here, LPR family. We are celebrating the pride you brought to us as Liberians. That the war I've been going through, and a lot of dignitaries. People, it's amazing. And first of all, we want to say, congratulations for what you have done. So we are proud of you. Our fans, our followers are proud of you. Let's get a conversation going here. Now, tell us a little bit. This seems to be a long journey, and I follow your activities preparing the young generation, the debate team, Youth for Change, which you are executive director, moving from county to county, getting on motorbike, taking a risk. What's so much of that? What is the importance of you putting in terms of the young generation? What is the essence of that?
Well, our country has a problem when it comes to leadership. We have a deficit, and it's no argument about the deficit we have as a country in terms of our leadership. And Liberia, most foremost problem is the kind of leadership. If this country will get developed, we have to have different mindset of leaders. The second thing also, our country is, our culture, we are a selfish group of people. We only care about ourselves. It's never about the next door neighbor. It's never about what happening to the next person that is just by us. It's never about that. It's a culture that we have grown up to only care about our family, our children. Number one, it's a leadership crisis. We have a lot of issue with leadership. We also have another issue that a lot of people are not willing to help the next person. And so the issue of mentorship is lacking in our society. So it's the country that we yearn and we talk every day about the things that are happening. There's so much talk about, we want the country to be this way, the country deserves to be this way, this other leader is not doing this way, but we have this huge gap. And the thing about it is that the very ones who comes from down become the next leader for the time. And you don't give to people what you don't have. So because we have this deficit, and because there is no foundation and there is no institution that is bridging the gap, fixing the young people who will soon become leader, then it means that we'll keep having this visual cycle. So when we realized that there was a deficit as an institution, then we will say, you know what? It was time for us to have an organization that would bridge that gap. Number one, to make sure that we breed selfless, innovative, creative leaders that come, a transformative leader that comes from the grassroots level, prepare them to see more of a Liberia, to see more of the general well-being of the country than the personal well-being that is normally, seen in our country. The second thing also, because we have this crisis of war, and most of the young people who have now become, most of the people who became parent, who now have born, and they are also, their kids are born in also, most of them came because of the war. You found out that the parents themselves did not have an opportunity to inculcate values and system into them. And so because that is a breach, then we know that the next thing is that there was a need for mentorship. And so Youth for Change saw those two things as a gap and thought, what, let's have an organization that will basically bridge that gap. We prepare the young people, and then we prepare them for the future. So Youth for Change is that, it's just that. So over the time, and to do that, we have to develop programs, and the programs must be able to inculcate the values that we thought that was important for our country. Our country is a talking society, so people talk a lot. And just by talking and not funding and not helping the country, it doesn't make no sense. So since we love talking in this country, we say, what, let's develop the library, let's develop the debate. Let's young people talk, but let it be more of a policy discussion. Let it be more of a conversation that young people are able to offer solutions as to where they think the country should go, what trajectory that they want the country should go. There should be the solution through their talking and not just ordinary talking. And so the Liberia National Debate Championship became that platform that we allow young people to talk about the issues, but to also offer solutions to what kind of country they envisage, and that's how the debate over the time has been. And the debate platform has informed the very young people that we select from across the country. It has informed them, look, this is this country. Some of the conversation they're debating is about national issues, about cross-cutting, whether it's governance, whether it's politics, whether it's rape issues. But they talk about those things and the proper solution, and these solutions are developed and we send it over to government, the line ministry, and say, look, this is what the young people are talking about. These are the solutions. This is where we think the country should go, and we give it to them. So that's over the time has been, and it has been amazing for us it has been that space that we were able to find very potential young people across the country. We started, first of all, with the debate with just 20 high schools in Monrovia. And today we're proud to say that debate has gone to the 15 counties of our country. Of course, John Sengwe is here, and I'm proud that he's even here. And there are many other young people many of them who most likely, if you even open this phone line for them to call, they will tell you the transition of their life to Liberia National Debate Championship as a flagship program for our institution Youth for Change in this country. So that's one. The second thing also, the issue of mentorship, we said was key, because the point is that you don't give to people what you don't have. So it was important for us to begin to have an effective mentorship program that goes through the three forms that we find them, we develop them, and we launch them. And so our mentorship arm has three components. We find, we mentor them, and then we launch them to opportunities. So many of the young people
we're going to come to a detail here. Let's have a conversation here. There's a great panelist here, and I joined one of the brightest future of our country, Scarlett. These guys are doing extraordinary work in Morocco. I'm always in contact with them. Okay, before I come to the professor, let me just bring you in here, John. There's a reason for which I call you here, because we've been having this this connection has been there since the students, when it came to the students in Morocco here. Tell us a little bit here. This is a war here, Ambassador Devine. We see that Our Excellency Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor in Ghana just a few days ago with this sort of a war. That is amazing. I'm not sure whether you were surprised here. Put it into context when you saw that one of your mentors, Devine. So what came to your mind?
Thank you again, once again. Thank you, Mr. So. For some of you who don't know me, I'm no stranger here. I've been here on several occasions, Mr. So, taking 10 times and discussing issue to better our country. So I'm John Sengwe II, the president of Liberian Student Association in Morocco, and besides a mentee of the Youth for Change and also a volunteer as well. So, Mr. So, let me say that this award comes as no surprise to me, and I know very well Mr. Devine is one person I've worked with, he's my mentor, He's one young person in Liberia that I know that has clarity of thought and purpose and what he wants to do. And not only to say things, but he has pursued his values. He has pursued his vision from the very beginning. I remember the first time I encountered him was I was just a 10th grade, I think 9th grade or 10th grade student when I encountered Mr. Devine. Our journey alone has been all to the benefit, I can say to my benefit, because I just wanted to say this, that I was very, very, very proud when I saw him in Ghana with the vice president, because through the initiative of Mr. Devine, I had the opportunity to travel all of Liberia 3 times. I went to Europe, I went to Africa, to Ghana, I went to UAE, other countries I went to represent Liberia. But one thing I admire was that doing all of those trips, Mr. Devine would rather send people to accompany us as a team and stay in Liberia to lobby and to make sure that we have the necessary support we need to represent the country. Never a day. He got a passport, I can remember, I think it was 2018, right? 2018, I think we're going to South Africa. He got a service passport. And in the last minute, we had a little shortage of money, and then we actually planned to take 3 teams to South Africa. And he was part of the delegation. We have 4 teams, rather. He was part of that delegation. And in the damn minute, we really had to decide on carrying 2 teams to the game. And that would mean that some people will have to stay back. Mr. Van stayed back in Liberia, and he sent other people to go. So that has selfless this man has been. And for me, I can say to anybody, I'm a convinced Divinist. I believe in the ideology of Mr. Devine. I believe in his working, his vision for our country. There are a lot of things I can explain because I've worked with him as far as a high school student. I graduated, I represented Liberia in international debate competition in Europe, in Africa, in South Africa, other areas. And I came back to Liberia. He gave me the opportunity also to impart knowledge into other young people. I began a national debate supervisor. I've worked with him all through, even my being in Morocco. He has contributed to that. He has done that. There are a lot of young people who I can point out to. I'm just one of them. There are a lot of young people who are making headways in Liberia. And this young man has attracted me to him because of one thing, his principle of being selfless. Not everything involving around him as a leader. He has created opportunity for young people, opportunity he didn't have, an opportunity that today he can take advantage of, but he rather allow young people to travel across. I'm not the only one. There are a lot of young people that have traveled in that country at the initiative of Mr. Devine. But for the first time I saw him in Ghana, I was really, really proud. And I want to use the medium to thank the vice president for intervention, because this is just one of the awards. We work on several things. I'm rating to several institutions across the world to recommend Mr. Devine for award. He can attest to that. I'm rating to international institutions. We have reviewed, we have gone before panel, we have reviewed his work. His ideology of transforming the Super Friday thing into a whole intellectual revolution. I've submitted that article to various institutions across the world. They have considered, we have gone before panel, we've qualified from stages, and today seeing at this very zenith of in Africa. I remember one time he was recognized as one of the most influential young persons in Africa. And I read that article and other things. I remember also you say few months back, you say recognize the work he's doing. And he's not impressed by these things. All these awards. He's not someone who is driven by all these things. Because if you follow Mr. Devine, he's not one person who is putting himself always at the top to receive an award. He has accompanied me to receive an award that he contributed to. And seeing him getting this award, I'm not surprised. But I just want to say thank you, Mr. So, for the platform, because when we see, like you said, politics, everyday politics, but we ourselves have to promote this step of characters we have in our society, because they are very few. We have to bring them, because when you have more Devine on the stage, many young people will want to review, say, I can beat this man tomorrow, I can impact or thousands and thousands of students across the 15 countries of Liberia. Today, Mr. Devine sits in Monrovia, but he has people in Sano, he has people in Lofa County who report to him and tell him what is the actual eventuality on the ground in terms of the Liberia National High School debate. There are people across the globe, myself, Yuba, and other students across Sata Seru, Sherry, a lot of other students across the country, in China and all of the world today, who can go back to Mr. Devine and say, yes, this is what is happening here. And he wishes that more and more young people will have the opportunity to maximize their potential as well.
Okay. And that's what we do here. We try as much to get that sort of inclusiveness. And we don't like to have a conversations in abstract. We want to have it in concrete, let people see and be the witness. I don't want he Devine himself, Ambassador Devine saying it or me saying it. And that's why we decided to go out there to get 1 or 2 persons to come here. Let me come to Professor here. Professor, are you there?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah. This year, Africa Advance Forum is very, very, because I went behind the scene and started searching. You have President, what his name, Nana Akufo of Ghana, Jonathan Goodluck, even our own president. But what caught my attention here is this photo, this image here. Alongside with Ambassador Devine is the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. That speaks volume, and we will intend to advance that. The youth, the young people, the way politics is going, it scares me. With respect to the young generation, and here we have someone who is keeping focus, who is flying our colors, who is doing everything else to get the young people to stay focused. Now, seeing this vice president accompanying Ambassador Devine to that sort of huge forum, if you watch the images that from this forum here, it is amazing. Are we going to see a pivotal point as to how the young generation future will be looked at by national government or all stakeholders?
Well, I will hope for that. I will hope that in everything we do, we'll put the youth at the center of focus. So I will hope to see that. I hope for us to see that. My position on the use of Liberia. You know what I'm doing. You know what I've done, and if you listen to all my interviews I've done everywhere, I've always spoken about the youth. So I hope that our country will start to invest more in our youth. But I wanted to congratulate Ambassador Devine on his award, and I wanted to also congratulate Mr. Singbe on his very brilliant articulation of the work of Senator Devine. I was once a student leader at the University of Liberia in high school, so it makes me proud to say and even going beyond what we did, because trust me, during our time, our country was in that struggle to define itself in terms of democracy. So everything was politics, and politics of the young people. Today, our young people are beset with numerous challenges, and the politics is just one of those things. And so they have to focus on other things, the empowerment, the development of themselves. So I'm honored that to know Ambassador Devine, to meet him on this forum. I'm honored to also be connected with Mr. Singbe. But I have some questions for Ambassador Devine, if I may.
Sure.
Ambassador Devine, I listened to the things that you do, and I was just interested in I'm interested in your organization, how it works, how it functions across the 15 political subdivisions, the structure of the organization. And I'm also interested in that national debate and how is it structured, how is it happening outside of Monrovia, how is it happening in my part of Liberia, which Mr. Su always say he likes the way I call my little town. Liberians say kakata, I call it kakata, sometimes I try to get that right for people to understand. I would love to know how the organization, how this national high school debate functions outside. I want to know a little bit more of the organization. How do you go about it?
Okay, so let me just start up, but Johnson may go more because he's more into the debate, but let me just start up. But so the debate started in 2015. At the time it started, we just started on one objective, and that was something that erupted in our country called Super Friday. It was a Friday that the young people would leave classes every Friday and take onto the beaches. And that phenomenon resulted into free happiness in our country. We had an alarming rape cases in our country, because when the kids go on the beaches, they do all sorts of things, and there were a lot of alarming rape cases. The second thing was that there was also an increment in the issue of drugs addiction among young people. Because when they go on the beaches, nobody is guiding them the way, taking substances and stuff like that. And the next thing is that There's some time that some of them were reported drowning in sea, in the ocean, or those three things happened. And I remember under the then president Ellen Johnson time, it was very alarming to the point that Mary Bro at the time, they were instructed police to go on the beaches. In their mind, that was the method to stopping the young people from going to the beaches. So police would be deployed at some beaches to stop them from doing it. But that happened over time. It was on the radio stations. Many organizations talk about it, like we always do. We always put the blame on government and use the opportunity to be popular. Many organizations did that in this country. And I sat with my team and I said, you know what? It's time for us to get involved to stop or to curb this situation. How can we do that? So we started a joint board, and there were many different activities that we came on the joint board. But then one of the things that we came up with, that if we get into basketball competition, if we get into dance competition, if we get into it will inflame the situation. So let's find something more that is more educative, but in a way that it takes their mind from the beaches on Friday, but more productive areas. So that's how the debate came about. But before the debate came about, we've gone in the community in Monrovia and did a little bit of survey. And we're asking the young people, why are you guys taking to the beaches? What is the problem? And one of the things that resonated so hard was the fact that the young people said that the school system was boring. There was nothing extra happening. I remember in my time when I was in school, there were debate, there were basketball tournament, there were football, there was quizzing, there was public speaking, those different kind of activities. So if I'm not interested into debate, I'm interested into basketball, I can find myself on the basketball court. If I'm not interested in basketball, I can find myself on the football on the pitch, so different things. But nowadays, our school system was not prioritizing those things. So the young people themselves decided to find their own activities. And that's how the Super Friday thing was alarming. So we got to realize after the survey that was the reason. That we say, you know what, let us find an activity that would take their mind from the beaches on Friday to somewhere more productive. That's how the debate came about. In 2015, we just dealt with Tony High School because we did not have the money. We didn't have no one to believe in our idea. So let's try it. And when we tried in 2015, we realized that at the end of the day, at the finals where we had may so rest in peace, Mr. Emmanuel Buyo was sitting on the panel, Charlie Bromsky, all these people. And the city hall was jam-packed that night with families, with parents, with relatives that have come to watch the debate. There was no space, absolutely no space in 2015 at the grand final of Liberia National Debate. Then we realized that, hey, this is something that this country needs. We need to continue it. And that's how in 2016, we stepped it up from just Tony High School in Monrovia. We stepped it up now to 80 High School. And then 2017, we increased the 120 high schools. We divided Montserrat County into 4 zones, and we have the debate play in the 4 zones, because when we did in 2015, 2016, the people were still going to beaches. So we said 2017, we divide Montserrat County into 4 zones. That debate will be played at the same time in different zones. So when we brought that idea, it really stopped dropping the numbers of the Super Friday thing. Most of the young people now started going to those different areas now to watch their friend play, to listen to debate. They had time to have to marinate, but in the hall, so that whole thing stopped the Super Friday thing, curved it at a very great extent. So fast forward 2017, when we entered the debate, then we realized that because all of our games from 2015 and 2017, we would live stream our game on our Facebook page. We had no idea that organization were watching us. We had no idea that people were watching us. But in 2017, we had the first time that invitation was extended to Liberia, but through Youth for Change, that has been observed to organize a national debate from South Africa, from the organizer of the Orit Africa Championship, almost like a East Africa debate tournament. They extended that invitation to Liberia. Now, that's what John was talking about. Our intention was to carry 4 teams, but we could not raise the expected money. We look for money all over the place in this country. We could not find it. And I'd like to say thank you to the then president who stepped in and gave her personal contribution and fixed all of our service passport. We have about 16 young people, plus myself, should have gone on a trip in South Africa. The president then fixed all of our service passport and gave our personal contribution. The then vice president also gave his personal contribution. But as you know, from South Africa, it's pretty much, it was, I think, about $1,500. So it was a lot of money to take all of these students, and we could not raise that money, So we just took 2 teams, and John was amongst he captained one of the team that went to South Africa, and 14 African countries gathered there, and Liberia came third in that tournament ahead of Nigeria, Ghana, Botswana, Namibia. I think it was South Africa that won, but John will talk more about that. I think South Africa won the tournament that year in South Africa, but Liberia came third. And it was based on our local tournament, a very local young people. We were mentoring, grooming, preparing them to understand what debate, international debate was, policy discussions about. There were very young people we took here and took to national tournament, international tournament. And for the first time, Liberia to participate in the Africa Debate Championship. We came third. It was something that we are proud of. We brought the trophy back here. We took it and gave it to the then president. 2 days before our stepping down as president, we presented that to her. In 2018, then, the organizer of the World Debate Championship, not knowing to also they were observing Liberia participation at the Africa Debate Championship. They then now extend an invitation to Liberia for the first time. And amazingly, that tournament has existed for 30 years. That means President Topper time. And Liberia has never been to that tournament, ever. We took Liberia for the first time to this international tournament. And the World Debate Championship is a body that is established to test country educational system. It is where when the students step on the stage, it is where people are easily can measure the system, because the point is no one can defend the educational system unless the product of the system. So the World Debate Championship organized that forum for countries to go to, and then they are able to measure what the strength of the country's educational system. Again, John was the captain for that in 2018 when Croatia, 64 countries from around the world gathered in Croatia. Liberia was there. In Liberia, the tournament has got 10 stages. We left from stage 1 to stage 8 of the tournament, which is probably around the quarterfinals we dropped. We could not go. China won that tournament, and John was there. And that's how we step at the international level. But the Liberia National Debate Championship locally, the structure is in 3 forms. One is that we go across the country, we conduct a preliminary stage of the debate. I mean, all the high schools in different countries will play amongst themselves. So they will play amongst themselves, and one school gets qualified from the county to come and represent the county at the central tournament in Monserrato County. So when we're done with the preliminary stage in the 15 counties, that's what the moderator was talking about. We're on a motorbike going from county to county conducting the debate in the 15 counties. So one school gets qualified, and when the school is coming to Monterey, they are no longer a school, but they're now the county champion. So we look at you now as Team Nema, Team Bone County, Team Grand Bassa County, sort of that. We'll bring them in Monrovia, the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Don't have money, but we'll leverage what they have. So they'll give us the MVDC that is built. And we encamp those young people. Sometimes we bring up 175, sometimes 200 young people from across the 15 counties. We've done that since 2018. We bring almost 200 young people from the county consistently. Every year we do that. And they will come at the same time.
Let me intro here a little bit, and the student Sengbe can come in. The key question here, to make this thing to survive, it must be supported. And it shouldn't be a summertime support. Sun shining today will support it, and then rain comes, it gone. Sustainability is key. Before students Sengbe come in here, how is this thing supported? Is there some sort of consistency? Because if it is not supported, that's where we fall short, Ambassador, because people try to do, and if you can't do more than what you can do, then the whole system collapses. Is it being supported by national government, other organizations? Because you are putting time for the building of a young generation.
We've made a case over and over here in Liberia that the government, through the Ministry of Education, as a matter of fact, the Ministry of Education accredited Youth for Change as the organization that is satisfied to organize this kind of national tournament. And the problem why they're satisfied, because we merited it. We did not go begging for it. They saw the product, they saw the consistency, they saw the output, so we merited. So they satisfy Youth for Change as the organization that is accredited to national debate tournament. We are the only organization that does that across the country. So we've argued over time, we made a case to the Ministry of Education to put this thing in the budget. Let this thing be budgeted. If it is 25,000 you're giving us every year, give it to us. You are giving it to us because you know what? It is your statutory responsibility to have these extracurricular activities to build the young people capacity. Education is not only in a classroom and putting a 1 + 1, 2 + 2. That traditional education thing has to stop. It has to be exposure. exposure, it has to be with interaction. People don't understand that. We've made this case over and over again. This is what we're doing. Do you know what it means that someone who lived in Lima, Lofa, Bon County, who have never been in Monrovia, and we brought them in town for the first time? Do you know what kind of exposure? Do you know what kind of education is added to them? That will bring these young people from across the country, and they spend 3 weeks in Monrovia, and we're taking them to the U.S. Embassy, we're taking them to the Ministry of Human Sports, we're taking them to places that they just probably they have never heard about. Do you know what education adds to them? All these young people who have come over time from the 15 county, when they go back, they're never the same. Their mindset change. They start to take in ownership. It's not about the 1+1 you do on the blackboard. We told them over time, but up to this time, there hasn't been consistency. There has not been a consistent support because the government have not placed this. This has not been a priority yet, and so it's just as a stop or no. So what we've done over time is to have individual support, and Orange Liberia has been the only institution since this competition started in 2015. They've been the only institution that have supported, but whatever Orange gave us is not enough to do a national competition. We're talking about going across the country and spending almost 2 months across the country to do this tournament. That alone, just on the transportation alone, is a lot of money. But Orange gave us money. So when Orange gave us money, we now leverage those things since the government gave us money. So we leverage what they have and we sought for individual support. That has been our only approach. But I think for the sustainability of this thing and for the improvement, I think government needs to understand that, look, Ministry of Education needs to start to put it in the budget. It has to be budgeted. You know, most of the young people that have worked, sometimes when we're ready to go out of the country, we don't need to be searching for money. We don't need to be begging people and having GoFundMe account, oh, your girl money, let me go. This is, look, when John Segment went and he will talk about experience, when they went in Croatia, after their performance, there was this international media institution. I remember the white people, he put that picture, he did his own testimony, ran to John Segment and asked him about how can you measure your country education system? Because from what we see here, who does it apply to? Does it apply to me, Alex? Does it apply to John? It applies to the country. It was a proud to have a product of the education system being interviewed by a European giant institution, media institution. So we need to start to understand these things and know that, look, you know what? We need to pay our attention to something very tangible, things that will help our country generally, not the normal, regular policy. But hey, we have not gotten support consistently. We think that the government needs to put it in the budget, and that's the best way we can to sustain this thing.
You see, in as much this is a big war here, we can have this conversation to undo politics, because it is these people that it is their policy, it is their decision making get us to be where we are. So if I go over there, if I derail here, forgive me, because I know people are going to be diplomatic. Professor here going to be diplomatic, but we have to say it as it is. We have people being rationing money all over the place, but I don't know how they expect the future of the country to progress when nobody is paying attention. Let me come to a student assembly here. John, are you there?
Yeah. I'm following Mrs. O.
Yeah. But yeah, you heard Ambassador Devine saying here. What are some of the ordeal that you can testify to get you to be where you are today?
Okay, so I will just do a package, like in response to the professor's question of how is his Kakata locally being impacted by the national debate. Myself, I'm from Kakata, professor, so I want to identify with that solidarity. So I grew up there, and then I went to school there. I left and came to Monrovia. I was fortunate to encounter the national debate. So let me speak on the local structure. I come to the international structure, the experience, and you have a clearer understanding of what we are actually discussing. So at the level of Kakata, I remember one time I was sent there. At that point, I was the national debate supervisor. I've just returned from, I think, Croatia. I was sent there. We had like 8 high schools participating. St. Augustine, St. Christopher, George V. Gibson, the BWR, Lutheran, Lango Lepe, all of these schools, I think you are familiar with them. These schools were participating. And I remember a Georgia game between St. Christopher and George V. Gibson. And I I sat down there and I had some of my professors, my teachers that taught me in 6th grade, or 6th grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, and they were there. They came to witness the game, and I was presiding as the head judge. That alone, I felt very proud, and it was because of the transformation that has taken place that since I encountered the national high school debate. When I came back, I remember I judged that game, and then we had a finalist for Magibi that day. So we went about how they call the Firestone. Even at Firestone is only Kakata. The entire Magibi, we went to Firestone. I remember Firestone qualified and came to Montserrado, and they represented Magibi that time. We went to Firestone. We had all of the schools there in Magibi. If you ask now in Magibi about the Kante, the national debate, they will tell you Bidaya came the last time to represent Magibi. And Magibi was represented, and there are a lot of young people who left from Monrovia and went back Magibi today. They are on fire. They are ambassadors. They are there telling their friends that we can not only talk about politics and watershed of politicians, but we can do something better. So Kakata is any other country. I remember Grand Gillette County. Imagine people who sit in Monrovia and think that Monrovia is Liberia. Some of these people with the arrogance from, I don't want to name schools, but you know the schools that we're talking about, the Bishop School. I went to this school, I graduated from this school. Imagine from Grand Gillette County, as far as Zweju, a school came from there, qualified at that level, came to Montserrado County, beat all of the schools. The champion of Montserrado County, both of them, beat the school from Magibi, beat the school from the nearby county, Grand Bassa County, won the trophy from as far as Grand Gillette County. Nimba County did it. This is what we call a revolution. That's why Mr. So keep talking about how politicians, how can they put their money in things that will impact the people? And this makes me to caution their sincerity about helping Liberians. When you take your money and give your money to somebody because you want immediate support for campaign, and then you putting your money in something that has been tested and proven and has yield result over the period of time. So all of these students have come from different countries, come to Montserrado, they have a category that they have the most eloquent speaker. They have the MVP category, the brilliant students, they identify in that category, they have provided opportunity. I remember there was a student from Lova County, Tamba. Tamba came from Lova County, and through the debate, Mr. Devine connected him with the Nema Bowie Foundation. Madam Bowie gave Tamba a scholarship and gave him a job or volunteering stuff he was doing, earning a little money. Today, Tamba is a testimony. That is what we call impact. On the level of the international debate, I graduated from high school 2017. I went to South Africa to represent Liberia. First time travel, went there. Saw people from, when you're talking about education in Africa, you talk about East Africa, South Africa. These are where you have schools, the Kenya, Botswana, South Africa. They place a lot of value on education. I'm not saying Liberia doesn't, but they have an advanced system. We went there to challenge these people. Zimbabwe, the great Zimbabwe, where the late president had over 7 degrees and was the most educated head of state. We went there to debate with these people. We came from Liberia, the very same system that the president characterized as a mess. That system that was characterized as a mess produced the very same students left from that system. They were placed on the pedestal, they were tested. And we play against countries from West Africa, we played East Africa, South Africa. We came there in our competition. And in addition to that, we won as the most outstanding team. It was the first time a team on first appearance to perform at that level. I remember the first debate we played was against South Africa. And then we lost the debate. Why? Because the language was an issue. And my teammates, I think they are falling to love. We had to adapt because the students from East Africa, they have a popular language, Kiswahili. Yeah, when you hear them speaking, they have the same accent. And the people from South Africa also, they have the Zulu and Swahili. Sometimes we come to the debate, we forget and greet and say Dumelan, and all of these things. After the first day when we lost the match, we went to them, we told them we want to be your friends. And I remember that time Nathan had to maneuver his way and say, oh, I'm popular back home. They said, we were trying to learn their tongue in order to defeat them. And we learned how to speak the South African. We learned their tongue. We understood them because we couldn't have the conversation, the engagement in the debate without listening to your opponent. So we listened to them. We spent a whole night with them at the hotel. And the next morning when we went to play them, it was like a walk in the park. Because we already understood their tongue. We knew how to beat them now. So we played that competition. We played in South Africa, the very same products. We qualified people. Look at us. We went to the third stage. We left South Africa. We came back. Like Mr. Devine referenced the World Debate Championship. It's not just a local championship. They had the other one recently online. Imagine a team who went to play with 64 countries in the world, in Croatia, Zagreb, the capital city. We have countries, team, we have coaches, we had a team that, like the UK team. The UK team had a budget of almost $500,000 budget just for the debate team. Imagine a team from Liberia going, wherein the Youth for Change has to struggle around politicians, has to beg national government to support. But we went to play against team the England, they had a budget for debate. Went to play against team the USA, we play against China, we play against Hong Kong, we play against a few African countries. We are part of the few African countries that qualified to go there. I think we're about 5. We went there to play with this team that had budget for debate, that have full support. We were in our hotel at a certain point in time. These teams have researchers, people who were going to research for them and provide them information. We went there with all these things. We were only 4. When there were 5, we had 1 media person, we had a supervisor there who was also a judge, and we went there as a team. And the difference, people don't understand the World School Debate style that Youth for Change has adopted today. It's the real deal. It's a real debate. It's not like our ordinary debate wherein I had a problem that I raised with Mr. Devine. There were times where the coaches would sit and read script for the students, you know, that in the debate, and give the students these scripts and say, go in debate. And they go and read their coach's idea. That's not debate. And they go and just give a speech. The World School style debate is quite different. You are given the motion, they call it impromptu motion. You are given the motion, 30 minutes to the game. And in 30 minutes time, you will prepare for the debate topic without using anything like electronic device. You will sit in the hall with your friends. You will think you will make an argument for 10 minutes. And that argument in 10 minutes must make sense, and you'll be allowed to be interrupted. A form we call the POR, the point of information to take. So that alone is a difficult position. It places you in a very difficult position, because now you have to rely on your mind in order to debate, to challenge. You cannot go and look at the internet. Coaches will not pamper you. You have to do things. We went at that debate competition. Our first game was against Argentina. We played house, believe that these are supposed algorithm, AI, artificial intelligence, that debate. On artificial intelligence, we debated that artificial intelligence, we debated religion, we debated a lot of things, great motion. They want China policy. You hear about the Belt and Road Initiative of China. What does the Belt and Road Initiative mean for Africa? We debated that. We debated a lot of other topics, the issue of controversial issue of transgender, the issue of the LGBTQ community, the rainbow capitalism. We debated all of these things about social media institutions selling data, things that global debate around environment. We had an opportunity to tell people. And one of the things Mr. Devine said that was very resounding for me was at the final, when we dropped at the quarter stage before breaking, we went to the finals. We were well dressed, we went to chair. The debate was between 2 teams. I think it was China and India at that point. Teams that have full support went very prepared, even though we weren't prepared, but they had a leverage because we just won for the first time. They have gone for 29 years and they just won it at that point. So we went there to play. After the debate competition, the international media, all of these people, big media, they were around the team, and they were like, we follow your debate, but we are not convinced that you people are actually from Liberia, because when we search about Liberia, all we see is civil crisis, war, and in terms of the literacy rate, Liberia is far below the belt. To compete at this competition, there has to be a tail force. What is it? Where did you guys learn from, and how you managed to represent your country very well? Well, like, we are the evidence. You don't need to go on the internet to read the data. Don't go to the internet and read what the people Google says about Liberia. All you have to do, you've listened to us all to this debate, and that is the educational system we are trying to represent here. So Mr. Devine spoke about the issue about the individual, the products themselves, marketing the system. That's what we're talking about. We went there, asked that question. She said, if you were president of Liberia, what would be your priority? She asked me a lot of questions, but I took pride in the fact that she could draw the disconnect between the characterization of the system, the condemnation of the system, and how the system can have a better output. Once that system is worked upon, there can be a greater output. There were students there from other education systems that was greater, but she recognized Liberia because she listened to us. She heard our arguments, she saw us speaking, and then she was convinced that the characterization of the education system is not the way it is. If we put more effort into this thing, we do better, we can have more and more young people coming out of this. And today I'm proud to say that, like Mr. So question, I'm proud to say that I went through all of these things not only just to debate and leave. No, I debated, but debate was part of it was part of the shaping process for leadership, for advocacy, for understanding some of these things. It's not like a question where when we leave the high school, we leave the belt. We don't have anything to do with question again. No, all of these questions we memorize. We don't have no our intellectual engagement. Today I don't speak English fluently. I speak French, but yet and still I have understanding of these things, the debate and other things. So that's about Youth for Change. This journey has been long, consistent. It has not been easy, but there are products we can point at. There are impact we can point at. Today, I have friends from the UK, from everywhere. We participated in the online debate competition. And Mr. Devine allowed me, that was a great opportunity for me to serve as the trainer for the team. I remember I trained the team for the online competition. We played against several countries. Even though we're not able to win the competition, but we used the very same students from 10th grade, 9th grade. I think one of my students there who was the lead presenter, he was in 9th grade at the, how they call the school, in Asada Marie Polytechnic. They have a school there. Yeah, that school is a junior high school. I think they've elevated it now. That young guy came from that school. Very young today. He had the opportunity to go to India. He's on scholarship. He was in 9th grade. He was captain the Liberian team, the world school team. And he had Jasper Lin, who is from my alma mater. We had another student, Claudia from ACD. We have Fedela Shabani. All of these young people, they took the baton. So this is a process that you can draw the connection. Today, no longer Johnson cannot be representing Liberia in the international debate competition. No. But there are young people who went to impact, who Mr. Devine through his initiative, they impacted today the grade. And today, I'm in Morocco, we are continuing that vision of how we can help our country. Now, as young people, to be more peace for politicians, not the only way we can survive. And lastly, as I conclude, Mr. Devine said something, and there's one thing I learned from him, all through that have guided me, his relationship with politicians. He's very, very, very clear. He's very, very guarded in dealing with politicians. Many of our young people believe the only way you can be your best friend to a politician, or the only way you can benefit from them is to blow their trumpet, is to be the mouthpiece for them, to be the billboard for them to carry that shit. Never one day, Mr. Devine always say, Youth for Change is a non-political institution, non-partisan, but he has had some good relationship with some good people in politics, and this relationship has paid off, and he has been able to leverage some of the opportunities for these very politicians to be able to do good things without blowing their trumpet, without being hesitant to look into their face and tell them that you need to do better, that you guys are not doing well. Politics is not everything. So this alone is a proof that young people can engage that national leader, can talk with politicians without being a partisan or a masses or battle cry chairperson. They can get better things out of the relationship. And I hope and pray that what the vice president did and what all of our national leaders have been doing, they will step up, they will see this as an opportunity to invest in this initiative and to promote young people like this. Not everyone will be from your political party to get the support. Once they are helping the country, I think you yourself got to put hands on them to push them forward. So that's okay for now.
All right, that's student assembly. There's a reason I decided to go beyond the borderline to get this guy here. And I know the professor has been working so much hard, putting in time talking about education. Yeah, you guys know there's a big reunion here, Kakata reunion surface here as a result of. So, Ambassador, let me just come to you here. And I will try to be a little bit illustrative here. If it is something, please forgive me, because I can't stand some of our people here. I got to get this picture here. Okay. This is Chief Dr. Joel Howard Taylor, who is the current Vice President of the Republic of Liberia. Let me make a guess game here. Seeing the Vice President of our nation and seeing you of all of your work. And when I look up here with this Advanced Africa Advanced Award, Africa Advanced Forum here, I saw Dr. John Good luck is out in Nigeria,
yeah.
Right? Yeah. Nana Kofu of Ghana. Those are people that were nominated, people, I mean, great world leaders. And you came out as a 2021 award winner. Let's go behind the scene here. Are you having a conversation with the Vice President or with the government of the Republic of Liberia to step out their game? We all listen to what John said. And I know I talked to you, one of your trade, you on motorbike, we go into river sales, from river sales, we go into this place and all of that. These things, they must be supported. and not just by mouth. Finances is the gateway. But it is unfortunate our country is just a country that we have. People raise money, people give money to people for whatever reason. I don't understand. Here we are. We have young people who are willing and who are prepared to take the lead. Do you have any conversation with the vice president?
Well, one thing I can say for sure that came up out of our conversation, the vice president and I, we had a lot of conversation. The vice president, she was like a godsend, because I remember, if you are friends with me on LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn. It's a very this opportunity, because it started almost 3 months ago. A rigorous vetting process went on. The award has tracks, so I fall in the track of the youth personality, empowerment personality of the year. So there were a lot of young people who were in that same track from around the world, and so it took 3 months for them to do the vetting process. So after the vetting process, then they sent me this letter that has been displayed on the screen, that I was now named as the Youth Empowerment Personality of the Year. And if you read this letter very well, you would know that the organizer, have done a lot of investigation behind my back, because the choice of words they use in this letter shows clearly that actually they went behind my back to do a lot of investigation, because they went through all my social media pages to follow up the things that I've done over the years. They saw acts on video and all of the testimony from other people, all of that. So when you see the letter they wrote, the choice of words, you know exactly that they believe that I fit this time around to be the Youth Empowerment Personality of the Year, evidence of the work that I've done. So I posted on LinkedIn this letter, because honestly, I have no money, absolutely no money to go. So then I was asking for support. I did not put on Facebook, I did not put on Instagram, but I put on LinkedIn. And when I placed it there, you know, people look at it and say, congratulations, congratulations. I remember 1 week to the trip, then I like, what do I do? So then I remember that I have the vice president, again, like John said, I will have these people information. I don't take advantage of it. I don't follow after them. Then I was just led at night to write her on WhatsApp and ask her whether it's something, because I knew she was going. And she was being an awardee, but beside being an awardee, she was a panelist. And beside being a panelist, she was a guest speaker, a keynote speaker, and as well as, to all of our surprise, she was conferred a doctorate, degree that night. That's why you see her in the gown she's wearing. She was conferred from one prestigious university in the States. So yes, that's what she's wearing there. So I sent her a message on WhatsApp, and I told her, Madam Vice President, first of all, I'd like to say it's going to be a rare opportunity for you and I to stay on the same stage, but and it's a place that I can, want to banner for anything else in the world. I want to go, but as it stands, such a time, such a condition, I cannot go. So I'm only asking for one favor, Madam Vice President. Could you kindly take my award, stay in my place, and bring my award to Liberia, because I cannot go because of no money. I woke up in the morning, I sent a message around 12 o'clock.
No, hold on here. This is a very important puzzle that you have added here. That's what you told her.
You said?
No, I said that's what you explained to her. You can't, if she can bring your award, because you do not have the finances to go, correct?
Yes, exactly. So I sent that message to her, and I told her this is the situation. So I'm going to ask you for one favor, Madam Vice President. Could you kindly, because I know you go on the event, consider to bring my award to Liberia? So that was the message I sent to her. In the morning, when I woke up in the morning, I look at my phone. She said to me, she sent a very short and powerful message. She said, it would be a disservice for you not to attend this ceremony, but I will see what to do to remedy the situation. Send me your passport detail. Simple. And then I send my passport detail. She said, send me your copy of your passport. We'll WhatsApp it, and I sent a copy of the passport. I didn't hear from her after 3 days. And then I was wondering, the woman asked if she's going to do this thing. 3 days after that night, I finished doing my worshiping, praising God. I was so excited, even though I didn't know what was coming up. I finished praying, and I was sitting, and cooking my little dry rice in my house. When I came, I opened my phone. I saw the vice president. She said, get ready on Thursday, we are leaving. Oh, and someone's going to call you right away.
How am I going now? How am I getting ready?
Oh, how am I getting ready? I like get ready. We're going Thursday, and I'm going to someone. I'm going to call you. Soon I drop the phone. Then the person call me. Be ready. 4 o'clock in the morning. We're picking you up. We're going Ghana. So you see, I always have this saying, and John knows that if I sent you an email, you will see that I'm guided by a couple of philosophies that I developed by myself, and it guides me. And one of those things says that when you have something to offer your generation, the world stops to listen. It means the things you do compel people to look at you. You don't go trumpeting people. The vice president has seen our work over the years. As a matter of fact, the vice president even went to the launch of the Liberian National Debate Championship the first year that we took it in the 15th county. She served as a keynote speaker in Ganta, Nima County. We took people from across all the DEOs and CEOs from across the 15 counties that came, and we lodged them in Ganta City. We pulled young people, almost 2,000 plus students on the principal street of Ganta. Ganta was decorated because the vice president was going there. The vice president saw the impact of the work. So the vice president now knows of the work that we do, and I cannot go because I can't afford. The vice president has seen it that, you know what, this young man deserves to go. Like she said, it was a disservice. And so fast forward in the morning, 4 o'clock, the car came, picked me up. So I went Ghana. I didn't know how much for hotel. I slept in one of the best hotels. I didn't know how much for plane ticket. I didn't know what COVID test, how much do they pay for COVID test. I went to the vice president, I did my COVID test right there. I didn't, whatever about this whole program, it was done by the vice president. So we sat, we talked, and everything we were talking about was the betterment of this country. I can tell you for sure the vice president is passionate about this country. She wants to see the best, more particularly about the young people. And so one of the things that resonated so strong, and that's something I joined myself, I've talked, and I like to also put it to John as a lead from here tonight, take it as a responsibility, was the issue of the civic education. Our country keep making the same mistake. It will keep making the same mistake because the point is that we are a country that do not even understand our civic responsibility. The National Elections Commission has got 2 key responsibilities. Unfortunately, the National Election Commission only focus on one of the responsibilities. They have civic and voter education. That's the 2 responsibilities the National Election Commission had. Civic before voter education. So it means that the civic is important. I need to understand why I should vote. I need to understand what is my civic responsibility in my country. You don't have civics in the school. You took civics out of the school system. And now for the National Elections Commission now that to educate us, to inform our understanding why we should vote. Even up to the extent this thing is cut across. Civilized people won't go to school, they can say, I'm going to vote. Now people don't think they will still do the same thing. When people get to understand that civic responsibility, you don't hear people talking that kind of thing. And when people get to understand that civic responsibility, you don't see people filing beyond $10 US to vote somebody for 6 years. When somebody understands civic responsibility, you don't see people going for 2 cup of rice or 5 cup of rice. Are you freaking kidding me? People voting in this country because of cup of rice. People voting in this country because of bag of rice. People voting in this country because of t-shirt. People voting in this country because I'm attached to one political party, even though they carry an inept individual, and I have to vote for them. Are you killing me? So we talk about the issue of civic responsibility, civic education, and I made a commitment to her, and I made a commitment here on the show that in 2022, I and my team will be across the 15 counties for 1 year. We'll go in the town, we'll go in the villages, we'll go in the farm. We'll take pictorial evidence of Ghana, pictorial evidence of Nigeria, pictorial evidence of Sierra Leone. We'll show it to the old man when they're scratching the farm and say, this is Ghana. The decision that people make, their leadership gave them any kind of result. We can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect the same, a different result. We'll teach the people, we'll convict them to understand. It has to be them. We gotta tell them, look, this vote you put in here, you're not doing it for you. Anything that comes out affect your children. And that's the thing we find ourselves. And we still hold and talk on social media.
Let me stop you here a little bit to bring in the professor here. And the reason I like to always dialogue with him, that has been his passion here. But I'm going to sound a little bit too ridiculous here now, Ambassador Devine. Are you hurt to see what is happening in your country?
I am totally hurt. And I told people these elections, I have a stake in this election. I've developed so many young people who are looking up to me for direction. There's so many young people. I can entrust their life with just anyone who does not have vision for themselves. We can't keep making the same mistake. Look, this country, when you look at our country, you see that over time, our leaders has been short-sighted group of individuals. How will you build even country University of Liberia for 500 students? What sense does that make? When Ghana are building university and projecting for the next 10 years, and we're building university with a mindset only 500 people, does that country look serious? Even today, we're still doing this kind of thing. Today, we're still doing quick impact project. We're building roads, and we're building 2-lane roads in this morning era. When you enter Ghana, when you enter Nigeria, it's a leadership. Look, let me tell you something. When God met Abraham, and God told Abraham, when Lot left Abraham, the meaning God let Lot have departed from Abraham, then God spoke to Abraham the next time. God said, Abraham, as far as your eyes can see is yours. That's vision. We cannot afford to have a leader who thinks about himself, who thinks about their pocket, who thinks about their gut, who thinks about whatever it is. We need leaders who will think in the future. The leaders see the future. The followers do not see the future, but the leader hold the followers to take them there. We cannot have leaders who think right under their noses and their feet. And that's the problem we have in this country. This 2023, I have a major stake to play. The young people that we develop in this country, I cannot entrust them with just anybody. I will entrust them with people who have vision, who have direction, who have policy, who will discuss the issue. First of all, anybody who does not talk, any politician who does not open their mouth to tell what they will do for the country, then that person is worth to go in the dumper and sit there. You don't want to be our leader. You want to be a leader, tell us what you will do and tell us the how. And not tell us the how. I want that why. Oh, one people now build road. Tell me how. What do we get the money from? That's the policy conversation I want to hear. And that's why 2022, we're going across this country. I made a commitment to the vice president. No political attachment. I'm not going to say vote for this person, vote for this person. I'm going to tell the people across this country. I will be in the town, in the village, and good for us. All of the young people we've been bringing from the county from 2017 up to now, they are all leaders in the county, and they are the ones who will be taking us to their mind and pardon. And they find their mind and pardon and can trust them. They will trust us. They convey of the message. They will listen to us, and we'll use that opportunity, that leverage you have across the 15 counties to educate the people. The old man needs to understand what it takes to vote and who to vote for and how to vote. Not who, but how to vote. You need to understand the things that you need to look for before you vote somebody. Doing the same thing. We cannot keep going vicious cycle. I'm going to make myself better.
All right. Today is Sunday. I'm going to act like a preacher man here. Let the church say amen. Let me bring in the professor here. Professor, it might not be in the same context, same tone here, but when it comes to the elections and how people go about making decisions, the future of the country, that has been your biggest worry here from time to time. And I can no longer, there's a lot I agree with, Ambassador, we're all going to be in it. This is the same thing we've been talking over and over and over. But unfortunately, we have a population, we have an electorate that are also helping to facilitate all of these things what Mr. Devine is saying, Ambassador is saying. So, for example, people claim to be advocates. They have to call somebody man. They have to call somebody father. They have to call the president. We have to do all sort of language, closing the door to have this sort of conversations, closing the door for us to sit or behave like a normal person. And to our disadvantage, this group of people, they are in majority. So it takes a much longer time to kind of make this sort of argument. And then worse to add, Mike Zuckerberg brought technology. Everybody sitting down behind the microphone, station without manager, without no editor, without nothing, and sit and throw all their red meat out there, and people grab it and go on with it. So when you come to LPR, you listen to different conversation. You go to Spoon, you get different conversation. You go to Gilmore, Prince, and all of that, you get this conversation. So it has become a huge, huge challenge. But you listen to the ambassador, his concern, and I believe those are your concern. That's every good Liberians That must be their concern. How can we jump over this whole thing here? What do we need to do? And I think what he has started, and we're going to get on board with him. We're going to make our network available. And that's why we are not selective. You don't have to be senator. You don't have to be managing director or party chairman to come here. I really don't need these people because I don't see what, for the most part, not all, but they are in good chunk. They are in good majority. All they come is we will. The how, the why, they don't tell us. There are some there who criticize, but they don't put anything in place. They will do it. How are you going to do it? Is God going to come down to facilitate that? These are all troubling times, and we are gradually getting to the point again. What conversation should we be having by this time?
Yeah, we should have a lot of conversation. A few things I wanted to do. One, John, which school did you graduate from?
Hello. Yeah, I graduated from the Bethesda Christian Mission, and currently I'm a final year law student in the Kingdom of Morocco.
Okay, all right, good. So you left Kakata, man. Then that's not good.
I had to leave because my father relocated.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you're a good product of Kakata. You know, that's great. I wanted to just make two distinctions here. One, civics is still part of our Liberian curriculum. Civics is offered from grade 7, I think, to grade 9, and then in the high school section they call it government. We used to take civics all the way down in elementary school. That's true. I think, and they took it away from there. That's true. Two of my friends, Dennis Job from our sister network station, Focus on Liberia. He wrote a book on Liberian civics. I think the Charles Steps International, another group associated, my friends Isaac Atuba is associated with, also wrote a civics book. And one of the challenges with the civics thing in Liberia, and one of the challenges with civics thing in Liberia is civics is not just something that anybody can teach. So it requires also investment into preparing the people to teach civics. You know, as an educator, as somebody who, John, by the way, I own 2 schools. One of my schools is in Kakata, the former Francis Michel School, the building they used to be in. I now rent that building. And so I have a Giddings Polytechnic Academy in Kakata. And one of the things I do with my teachers is that I review their examinations they draw for students. And so when I'm looking at their civics or government tests and I'm seeing what is, and what is, and I'm not seeing those questions that provide an opportunity to debate policies, I condemn those tests and tell them to go back and do it again. Because civics, it shouldn't be about answering what are the 3 branches of government? Who has this branch of government? It should be able to inner workings of those governments and our citizens' responsibility to the government and the people. And then we'll be able to address some of those broader issues you talk about voting and all those things, which are my biggest concerns too. I believe that our voters don't have too much education. Our voters don't have sufficient education to allow them to make informed decisions. We saw what happened with the referendum recently. The referendum fell flat. We got no voter education. And that's serious. We got to do better. We got to do more in Liberia. That's why I'm opening more schools in Liberia, and I'm trying to get my students to learn a different way. I'm trying to get my students to do some of the things your organization is doing, be able to debate, be able to speak out. That's why my schools we have the foundation of our instructional methodology is inquiry-based learning. We ask the questions about the why, the how, the when. So it's not just what. So we're getting down to the deeper thing. So I see a lot of alignment between what I do and what you guys do. And so thank you. But one of the things I also wanted to talk about, I wanted to talk about your budget. What is your budget for this whole debate that you are doing? And you said one thing, and I will want to a little bit disagree with you. In an initiative like this, I would love to see government providing some support. When government provides all the support you need for such a thing, that there's always a potential to want to dominate and control. I think your organization needs to be funded by people like us, Liberians in the diaspora, who have the wherewithal to be able to promote it. Because what you are talking about is what most people in the diaspora talk about. But interestingly, Mr. So say they want to be political. Somebody can get on the air somebody can get on the diaspora stations here and scream and say, I'm working for you people, you give me this amount of money, otherwise I will stop fighting for you. And people will raise $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for those individuals. But here you are. You are touching the soul of our nation. I think we should be the one to be able to, you know, sustain your program. My advice to you would be that try to create some kind of like how we call it, advisory board or support body among Liberians in the diaspora. I will be able to help you also raise funds over here. Obviously put your budget up there. I think you should put your budget up there. Let's see your budget. Let's see how we can get, you know, some of our friends, some people to, you know, be able to sustain you. I want to be, and mind you, in the spirit of fair disclosure, I love this government. You know, I'm one of those people who promote the government. But I would want you to stay away from government and try to fund your program, not just this government, but all government, because it gives you the leverage, it gives you the, you know, the span, the stage, whatever, to do everything. Not saying that if they bring something, you're gonna say no, you take it. But I will be very hesitant to see government as being the primary sponsor of this, you know, and I'm thankful that my friend and brother, Yoga Wilson, you know, he's a very nice and smart guy, that he's able to give you guys the MBTC to be able to do some of your things there. But that's great. I think you guys are doing a wonderful job. But your work is not just restricted to the debate. And you talk about something. You talk about, you know, getting the young people moving and getting them involved. And you've been training a lot of young people over the years. Now, John, for example, was with you around up until 2018, right? John? Was it up until 2018?
Yes, up to 2018.
So since John left, you got about, let's say, about 3 or so years. So other people who are with John, they are now in Liberia. What impact are they having as a result of their engagement with you? I know you talk about some of them going into the counties and playing leader. Can you just, you know, be more concrete about some of those people and some of the work that they are doing in the counties for your viewers, so that people can know that what you are doing is very impactful? I'm convinced, but I want to give you the opportunity to speak specific about provide some specifics, so that people can be motivated maybe to help and support your work.
Okay, so if I name names now, most likely some will know, but some will not. But just take it from the first stop. So our institution basically is we into 3 forms. That is we into education, we into mentorship, and we into empowerment. So the education is where we do the Liberian National Debate, and we also run another program called the Education Empowerment Hub. The Education Empowerment Hub comes once in a year out, and it's a vacation program. We realize that most of the young people doing vacation, parents are busy and they have nothing much doing. So we developed this recreation, academic but recreation program that we just keep them engaged during the vacation period. So at that program is where we will teach things like public speaking. Okay, that's it right there, eHub. We'll teach things like public speaking. We'll teach something like introduction to advocacy. We'll teach something like debate for people to understand what debate actually is. And then we'll teach some hands-on learning like baking, hair, bee making, hair plaiting, you know, all of those small things. We run that program for 2 years now, and the outputs is many. Today we have 2 of our students who now, one's in the US now, one Aminata Sherry, she has her own foundation here. Aminata Sherry has this ONAC, and it is specifically focused on the issue of orphan. She focused on orphan. That's what her organization is. She came through the eHub. After she graduated from the eHub, that's how she was inspired and motivated to have her own organization. So that's another testimony of ONAC as an institution. But she's not in the US. She's going to school now. She got a scholarship. She's in the US going to school. We also have another situation, like the first female to become the Speaker of the Children's Parliament, Sada Sharif, who also now is the brand ambassador for Youth for Change. She's from Margibi, by the way. Apparently, the Margibi people here, they're too powerful. She's from Margibi. Yeah. And Sata is in the US to go to school in Ohio. Like I said to you, we have 3 arms of our program. So the last arm is the empowerment. Our empowerment, we don't give money to students. What we do is we find opportunity like scholarship, and we do a placement for them. So it's our responsibility to apply with them, to send letter of recommendation for them, to make sure that the scholarship works and they go. It's the same thing that John Sengme, Yuben Wosoto, Moses Quina, they are now in Morocco. It was the same thing that we pushed them, managed to get the scholarship from the Ministry of Education. We push them to they're in Morocco going to school. So Sata too is now in the States. She's in Ohio University. We apply with her for the scholarship. We send a letter of recommendation. She got accepted. She's now in Ohio going to school. And Sata Sharif, amazing. That Sata you see right there, standing right near the white man. That's Sata right there. The lady that's standing right near the white man there. That's her. So Sata right now, she was appointed as one of the 17 SDGs ambassador. The current 17 SDG ambassador around the world, Sata from Magibi, is amongst those 17 persons from around the world. Sata was just in Liberia. She came on vacation. We also have her SDG conference here in Liberia. We'll make sure we had the SDG conference got accepted successfully. And there is a big award coming, which I will not name yet, but it's going to be named on next Monday 10th. It's a big award. Only Ellen Johnson said they have had. And I'm so proud of her. She got 10 grand unrestricted fund for that, you know, and it comes back to you for it's come back to the mentorship. It has to take you for Sada from that high school. It has to take you for change to mentor to the Sada have her own organization, and she's running it called AGHR. That's Human Rights Institution because she's a human rights advocacy. You have Biola Nimle. Biola Nimle was just a high school student as well who has passion for writing poetry. Biola Nimle has this last year she had 13 students on her scholarship who she's paying their fees. And how she paying the fees? I told her, I said, you know what, you got a gift. Let's use your gift and raise money. Biola Nimle always have an annual poetry event that people will come in their numbers. Last year before last, we had it at the Royal Grand Hotel. We did that. We packaged that for her. We organized it. All of our network, we use it. People came. Biola managed to raise almost about $4,000 plus US dollars. She used that money to pay 13 students school fees now. A young person who came through our program who now has her own foundation. I can go on and name it. Fedela Shabani, who already have a farm, or aloe vera farm. Fedela Shabani became the first most eloquent speaker, female more eloquent speaker of the Liberian National Debate Championship. Fedela, by the way, is in the States, John. She just went to the States. She got a scholarship, got accepted. She's going to the States now. And Fedela has an aloe vera farm. She's interested in agriculture. So there are many of them across the country, the ones that we have over there. And John mentioned something very important, which I'd like to bring. This boy, there's a boy called, what's his name? John, the guy from Lofa County. What name he called you? Tama came from Lofa on his team. Tama came to town. We took them to camp. Tama, because of his selflessness, his humility, Tama decided to be watching the dishes on the camp. All the students will eat. He will wash the dishes. He will work with the old man in the kitchen to wash the dishes, put it together. So that Tama became the most loved and most serviceable student on the camp in 2018. At the end of the year, that category was not in the Liberian National Debate Championship. But when I saw his service, where everybody would call him, I bring they can't tell can't carry, can't wear our clothes. Tama would hesitate not. He would do that willingly. When I saw it, I included that year that we're having something called the most serviceable students at the debate. So at the finals, we are named Tama as the most serviceable. But before we name it as the most serviceable student, I have gone on and explained why we developed this category and the things that Tama has done. Madam Bowie, who flew from the States to come and watch the debate, she was there, and many other people. Madam Bowie was moved that same night. Madam Bowie gave Tama a scholarship. Tama is in Cotton University right now, a genius student. A boy came from Lofa County, man, that came on the national debate camp, a platform that we created that because of his service, we announcing, we talk about what he was doing. And Madam Bowie gave him a scholarship. Tama is a junior student at the Cotton University now being paid. He also has a job with Bowie Foundation. He comes every time for vacation and go and work. That man's life has transformed. That whole family has transformed because when he gets education, and by the way, as soon as Tama's graduate, he's going to the States to get a master on the same Bowie Foundation. There's a lot of life transforming story we can go on and name it, on and name it, on and name it. These are just few. And have to take a platform that avail these young people. Today, they are benefiting. John is going to be a lawyer. John was way in Kakata. He was way in Kakata than it. John is going to be a lawyer that like will be proud of. I'm proud of him. Many times I send document to him when I want somebody to do my work properly. I send it to him for him to do it. And like the reason why I even said it right now, I say it's a responsibility on him because he and I have talked about the issue of us having a civic and voter education across this country. And he has that responsibility to prepare that proposal and send to me. You know, so it's a lot we've done. And the accounts are many.
Well, can you care to comment about how much it cost you to?
So, Professor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's a very good suggestion, and I think we can work with him on that. I mean, for us, and you know the tradition of LPR, we are not just easily moved, but when we move, we want it to be something that is resourceful, something that the nation, not people of the gains. And so it was true. Ambassador, I really got connected with these guys, the student, and I still keeping that pace because I know exactly who they are. So I think we can work with things. Good that we are really footing well on ground, and we want to be aggressively involved in that process. So, Ambassador, hopefully the sooner the better. You know, hopefully we can talk to. We have some good friends here. To be honest, we have some good people here that are listening. You know, they can go to 15 million platforms. It doesn't matter, but they know their preference. They know what's good for their country, and we can really to make that argument. And we will have this network open to you, your group, as long as in the interest of the country. We're going to have that conversation. We'll do everything possibly. But before you respond here, this is why one of our valuable listeners here, he always with us here, Mr. Zili, Hamilton Zili. This is something that he said. It really caught my attention. He said, you guys making a suggestion, I believe it's a suggestion. You guys need to take the kids to the Capitol to watch our legislators debating issue, court sitting. Exactly. Because sometimes when you see our guy man and down there, oh my goodness, when they're talking national phone or national issue, you have some people on the phone that, I mean, this is just really. So probably your young folks generation going there and coming back here to have the debate and create a sort of political satire.
Alfonso, I think it should be the opposite though. You know, I think it should be the opposite. You know, I had a conversation with let me tell you why. I had a conversation with my staff last week, Friday, you know, of my junior high school in Monrovia. And so I was telling them the same thing about taking the people to the legislature to listen to the legislative debate. But on the days that certain individual will not be in session, because I don't want the kids going to learn some new curse words. But I think it should be the opposite. I think our legislators should be compelled to attend the debate competition.
I agree with you. That's it. I agree with you.
So that we're taking them to the slaughterhouse.
So
what are you saying? If they organize it to get them to go there, is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, when the Ambassador Devine is having the national debate, I think the legislators should go and be in the audience watching. I don't think let's be very honest.
This is how it works, and this is how we can get the legislature to come. The grand finals, when we go through the counting, we come to the central tournament. We have the grand final where we have the two teams that go for the finals. We always have it as an elaborate program, a very unique area. Some don't have it at the ministerial complex, some don't have it at the Centennial Pavilion. We can write these people. Come and see, especially so that we have a national conversation. If it's not issue if it's not an issue of dual currency at a certain point in time, it's an issue of the power given to legislature or whatever. They need to come and sit and watch these young people talk about national issues. Look, you see the World School Debate Championship? One of the things that the World School Debate was developed for also was to test policy. And John mentioned about it when he was talking. The World School is developed around the world to test countries' policy. And the world has understood that, developed countries has understood that. So every time they come out with a policy, they want to test it. They send it at the World School Debate Championship for the young people who will come from across the continent to weigh in on this policy. And John mentioned that at the World School in 2018, at that time, the China One Belt Road Initiative policy was not strong enough. It was just coming up. They sent it at the World Debate Championship for it to be tested. And from the debate, the way young people were able to weigh in on it, it informed them as to which was the best way to go. The same thing also with the United States. The United States have a policy called the school voucher system.
School voucher program.
And John can explain about that, but I know it's a scholarship for public school. It was also sent to the World School Debate Championship to be tried and tested. So all these things. So imagine that the national legislatures, they are coming out with some kind of policy for the country, and they can send it to the Liberia National Debate Championship for these young people who come from the county who it will affect their lives. For them to sit down and weigh in on these things, and they are sitting and listening, it will inform their judgment. It will inform their understanding. It will give them a more appreciable understanding about what the policy, what it will do. So yes, it's the opposite around. It is the national legislature that should be going after these things. When we send them letter, as we always do, we send them 100 some more. I know 100 person will send them letter one by one. As a matter of fact, our letter is not one of the letters that they even regard. They don't regard this letter because we send them more than 3 different occasions there. Every lawmaker will send letter in their offices. I mean, I think the point is that people just need to have a priority. When this former ambassador was here doing Ellen Johnson study time, the American ambassador, when she was leaving, and asked her a question about Liberia's development and progress. And she mentioned something. She said, Liberia's problem is that they don't understand what to prioritize. And that's the problem. Prioritizing, even from the national budget. You have a country where the very national legislature, what they say is we should go and listen to them. You have a country where our recurrent expenditure is almost 65% recurrent to IFU, to buy a trash car, to ride car. And you expect who to build your roads. You expect who to fix your structure. If your recurring expenditure is about 65%. So how much money you are getting out to fix road now? How much money you are getting to fix the hospital now? So they need to be coming and hear these young people debate and see how the young people are, their composure. Maybe you inform them. They need to come and listen to the policy. Like John said, the World School Debate Championship that we brought to Liberia, it is not a palaver conversation. It is a policy discussion. It is a debate that allows interruption, but a civilized interruption. That's what they call the POIs. It is not an arrogant or insultive interruption. So it's a whole new system that we adapted from the World School Debate Championship. And we brought to Liberia because you know what? We're preparing leaders. We're preparing decent leaders who will soon become a sit in a capital building. If they pass through the ranks and file the Liberia National Debate Championship groomed, mentored properly, we believe that when they sit at the capital building, when they sit at the executive mansion, they will be well knowledgeable, informed about this kind of thing. So they should come. We'll send a letter again next year, all of them, to just make the time. We won't say they should come every day, but we say only on the finest, only at the finest, when we have it at the ministerial complex, a decent area. Then just make time. Come and sit in the back. You don't need to announce yourself. Come and see how the young people, what are their thoughts about the country. Let them come. It's important.
Yeah, I think I don't think it's just the finals. Even if you can go to their local competition. Say if I'm a legislator for Magibi, I will attend, the whatever
the preliminary, yes,
locally, so that you can get. Look, you guys are doing a wonderful thing. I don't know what it was, John or you who said it. And you've done something today. You've made me to. You converted me. No, I won't say you converted me, but you made me to change one of my focus. No, because I always believe it. When I say converted, I always believe.
Where were you? Where the converted you to?
No, let me say now. I'm coming. I always believe it, but I've never acted on it. So he's made me to act on it today. Last year, one of the biggest things, John, they have in Kakata is it's quizzing. I'm a strong a critic of it, because all it does, they always come to me and ask me for support. I normally support a lot of youth activities in Kakata, but normally come to me and ask me for support. Just in fact, yesterday, a quizzing competition started in Kakata. It's called the Flag Day competition, and I refuse to support it. Because what they do is that when I ask them, how do you get the question? They go to the glossary of the textbook, and get some definitions and ask people to memorize it and state it, and and then they declare a champion. And I keep telling them the thing: how does a country benefit from somebody who can just memorize? How does that build our country? And so I've been very reluctant to support it. I banned that last year. I pulled off my school, the Gideon's Polytechnic Academy in Kakata. I pulled them out of all quizzing competition. But I wanted my students to be engaged more. So where I say that you have converted me, and then I said, no, you just made me do, is that I'll be looking forward this year to even hiring a debate coach for my school, and to make sure that my school is fully, involved with this debating thing. Because I see more you can benefit from a debate than you can necessarily benefit from a quizzing competition. It's just a memorizing thing. You memorize a few facts, you give it. It doesn't help. It doesn't help that much. So yeah. So I think that's a wonderful thing you are doing. I think we should promote it. I will encourage you to even take it to the lower levels. One of the things they do in America here is that you see the American football, for example. And Fonso will tell you they have the Pee-wee play, the kids, the ankle biters. So the kids start to play the big football. They put them in the real football uniform. They act as if they are professional footballers. So they started from a very young age. So I would love to see, this debate thing going down to the elementary level. We have some sort of competition for elementary schools, albeit maybe not on the national level. Maybe we'll have some little regional competitions among elementary schools. We do the same thing at different levels so that we can have our kids, being prepared at a very young age to get involved in this thing. Because obviously there's a lot of lessons to learn from this.
All right.
Like as advice, I say it would be good for a legislator to go and see it. Because when I watch people do debate in civilized situations, and I watch the debate at our legislature, I'm embarrassed. Yeah, because I'm sure when the students do the debate, they're not using curse words. They are arguing on the facts. Something that is absent from our Liberian political discourse. It's not the facts. It's just flippant, unsubstantiated allegations, and it just leads to greater animosity. It creates more tension in our national politics, and it drives us away from our development agenda. So yeah, I would love to see you taking that to that level. But great job, and I just encourage you to keep doing it, and even all of your programs, I see that they are wonderful. Keep pushing it. But I'm still going to be interested in hearing about how much does it cost you to stage the national debate, the national championship. How much does it cost you? And in that line, like I said, Mr. So also said it, because we want to help. I'm not going to say I personally, I will help definitely, but we want to help. And when we get out to talk to people, they want to know, how much does it cost? So if it's not a problem, can you give us an idea how much it costs you to run one of those national competitions? You're bringing people from other counties. You have to rent a place. And by the way, if you need to have a competition in Kakata and you need a hall, the auditorium at my school, which is extremely large, is always available to you for free. Any program you want to have in Kakata, you need a hall, you can just go there and tell them.
Kakata, man. So what a man want to win Nigeria now.
I don't have a hall in Grand Canyon. I have a huge hall in Kakata. So yeah, if it is possible, just come in.
That's good. Thank you so much, Professor. This is why I go for this sort of conversation. Yeah, so Ambassador, speak to that, because I think that's very much crucial. And the better we get this information, that we can work together.
So over time, the budget is various, because as time goes by, we increase the schools. So as we increase the schools in the county, then the budget increased. But the budget has been between, since we started going to county, I remember the first year we went to county 2017, and we dealt with 7 counties. So we're pretty much working around $35,000 to $40,000 for the 7 counties to make sure we conduct a preliminary stage, because some of the things we use the money for is we don't rent hall, by the way, in the county. We normally collaborate, because we just work with schools to give us their places and stuff like that. So, but the issue of PA system, we have to get a PA system. We have to get refreshment, make sure every day that we play games, that students are fed, all that. We also make sure that the adjudicators, the people who come to judge the game, will give them a little small stipend to sit on the team. So if we're spending 1 week in each county, and we're dealing probably with 10 adjudicators, so every time they sit on that panel, we have to get them some little stipend for sitting on the panel daily. So we spend money on that. We use some money on transportation to go across the country. That's some of the reason why we don't use car, we use motorbike. So the motorbike, sometimes we have to we buy our own motorbike and use it across the country because we are blessed that 2 of our staff can ride motorbike, so it's easier that we can just go across the country. So we just buy the motorbike, we use it. Then of course we come to the central tournament where we're bringing those young people to town. We don't pay for a hall. Like I said, the Ministry of Youth and Sport has been magnanimous enough to give us the MVDC, which is something that we cut the budget because it's in the budget. But if we're actually paying for a place, even if we're paying $10 per night for a place, and it's so spend maybe 2 weeks in town, that you're talking about maybe 200 students, $10 per night to a place is a lot of money. So Ministry of Youth and Sports, we want to talk to them, and they agree to partner with us, and they give us that space. So we spend money on food as they are there for that 3 weeks. Is a lot of eating. They got to eat 3 times a day. Medication, because they're there, some of them get sick and all of that. So medication is very key as well. We pay attention to the issue of internal transportation. We got to take them from one point to another. We got to take them for cutters visit. So it's a lot of money then before we come to the finals to get the hall for the grand final, get the PSC, then get a cash prize, get the individual prizes like John talked about, the most eloquent speaker and the MVP and the different awards and the medal, the certificates, a lot. So when we started with 7 counties, we did around from 35 to 40,000 now. But currently, when we're only 15 counties, we're pretty much talking about $75,000 to $80,000 that we deal with to take care of all of those as well. Which some of those things we managed to leverage. So between the $85,000 that we say it's a budget, but there are some things that we can get by kind, so you can still cut down the budget to come pretty much around maybe 65 thereabout to run the competition. So this year by September, we'll be working on a new plan by September for next year and the budget. So we'll start engaging institution, because when we spoke with Orange said that by September they can start formulating their budget, so they need to send in the budget soon. So by September we'll start sending the budget out to individual supporters, to corporate institutions and stuff like that, and say, hey, this is the budget, what can you do and stuff like that.
Okay, quickly before I forget, maybe John, you want to respond here about Ambassador one of our onliners here, Mr. George Gonnelet. You say, I'm curious if your wonderful organization has a website where one can get the detailed information and how to make a donation. Do you have an official website?
Yes, we have an official website. We put it down two days ago. We're trying to upgrade it. It's down at the moment. 2 days ago we upgraded, but yes, our institution has a website. Is Youth for Change. It's Youth for Change, like YOUTH for FOR change. CHNGE .org. That's the website. But I mean, I think I'll be on the show before we put the website, but the website is down at the moment.
Yeah, okay.
Button on the website.
Huh?
Do you have a donate button on the website where people can click on it and donate?
Do you have that version to donation?
We have a domain. I can send a link.
Yeah, so okay.
Right?
You said?
Because what he asking, whether there's an option there that people can make a donation to give to the organization, where some people have PayPal or some sort of pay option. Do you have any?
No, we have not added that handle there. For that's one of the reasons why we took it down. We upgrading. We don't have that place for donation yet. So that's why we took it down. We're upgrading it. So once we're done with that, that will be there for the donation aspect will be there. But for now, it's not there.
And do you allow, when you have these competitions, do you allow for people to buy advertisement spots at the program?
Yes, that's one of the reasons why we even took it down, because we want to have that, want to make it more engaging, where people can use our space, because our website and our Facebook page. When you go right now, you just check on the Facebook page, you see Youth for Change INC. Youth for Change INC. You can check us on Facebook if you are watching. So our Facebook and our website it has a huge following because of the young people we're working with. So we want to utilize that to make sure we make some money out of it, just of the advertisement component, because there are a lot of young people who goes there. On our Facebook page right now, we are close to almost 50,000 young people who are member of it, and so we want to do some advertisement for other people to be able to get some money to sustain the kind of work we do here.
So I know you wanted John to come in. I wanted to ask. I just still just want to ask a question. Maybe both of them can answer it together. Have you?
Yeah, sure.
What has been your relationship with Liberian youth in the diaspora, especially in the United States? Have you been? One name comes to mind is Leo Johnson, a young man that I know, also a contributor to the show. Have you been able to connect with some Liberian youth here in the US and who have been very helpful to you?
Well, last year we've made plans to come to the US. I know there are a lot of Liberians in the diaspora that have really been fighting our work. As a matter of fact, that's one of the places that we really can get some support in bits and pieces, but we have not been able to formulate it, to become like a body like you talk about, but it just come individually, and that's something we wanted to formulate. So we had it last year. We should have come to the US. I got an invitation all from there's a man in Delaware. His name is Thomas Grant. He's in Delaware State. He came to Liberia and met me. So he sent us an invitation, which we are going to the States, but then COVID came and stopped. Also, just 2 months ago, it's 2 months after last month, in July, I should have been in the States when I was awarded as Youth of the Year. There was a summit that was being held in Minnesota by Liberians youth. There where Liberian young people, they were having their summit for the July 26th celebration. So I was invited as a keynote speaker. But then COVID again, because we were ranked, I think stage 4 in the US embassy there. So I was denied to not come. Yes, so that's why. But it is something that I'm planning to make sure that this next year I've come to the US again. I can work with all of you who can probably, more formal invitation, and so that we can utilize that to come. Even this one time when I was about to come to the States, I have 15 different invitations to go and visit different states and engage with them. There's a project that Joy and myself did. That's one of the things I was really happy to come to the US was this bus project. We have this bus project. The bus project is basically we want to get a bus, 2 buses, branded very well. And the bus is a space where young people are able to sit in the bus in the morning, going to school free of charge. But there are issues they can debate about because in their country. So every time you enter that bus, even though we give you a lift, but you have civic conversation in the bus. Sometimes we even have different leaders. So for instance, this person talk about the issue of climate change today. So we're talking about the issue of gender. We take different person that will sit in a bus. So young people enter the bus to see these people. So that is our bus project. So I was excited to go to the States to have probably get engaged with some of these public schools, schools, these high schools that have these buses that are there. They're not doing that way. We can probably bring 1 or 2 of them branding very well and call it the bus project where we can bring Liberia. So it's just on the street. It gives opportunity because most of the young people, parents can't afford. Now we talk about transportation. So when our bus is there to be able to give them lift and they are engaging with positive conversation. So that's something I was passionate about also. But I know that it's possible next year when I come to the States, we can all make that work. And I can probably talk to you to see how we can leverage the network of Liberians in the diaspora to make it more organized and not fragmented like we're currently getting now.
Okay, John, a professor, I guess you'll be taking, but just communicate. John, you want to?
I just want to listen to John, then I'll be taking my leave.
Yeah. John, you want to?
Once again, I'm inspired by the conversation. I learned a lot of things, and from my little opinion, I'll see what to contribute. But Mr. Devine is very innovative. That's not the question. Always, we have this conversation. Always, every month, you will have to send me something, or we have to bring an idea to him that we could develop. I remember, I think we developed a scholarship draft program. We intended to send about 200 or 300 students. Across for scholarship. And then I told him that there are a lot of scholarship opportunities, but these students are not guarded and people trying to exploit them to do this. I think we can take advantage of that. These very students we deal with in the debate, we can just leave them at that level. We have to develop them to a certain stage, at least that they themselves can go and impact their community. So we work on that program, we work on it, and then we went even to the legal team. And that program is also in the prep. And Mr. Devine told me that he has intention to reach out to people in the States to govern our support, and we can make that program a reality. The BOSS project is one thing. Leo Lepolu, who you spoke about, I think he reached out to us the last time, CEO, and he spoke about a presidential debate program he wanted to have. He wanted to include a parliamentary session I think I worked on that project also, and then I also tried to explain how we could do it, taking into consideration the government structure of Liberia, presidential regime system, how we could engage with the legislature and the presidential candidates, how people can speak on various policy points. And we work on a lot of things, but the issue of the support is very important. It's good that we're having this type of conversation wherein the Prof. Zawulu is also trying to bring his own idea how we can raise funding, because like you said, Liberians, they are very energetic, they want to support, but sometimes caution whether they are supporting the right causes. That's very important. That's why I appreciate Mr. So, because always when it comes to Liberian Students Association in Morocco, today that we're having some sort of stability, students are graduating on a massive scale, master's, PhD. When we're at a very point where we're struggling, having an issue with national government, it was always there to tell people that these people we're looking at today, tomorrow they will be the leaders, and we have to invest in them. So it's very important. In the diaspora, I see our people there, they are very supportive. If you count the amount of people, the money the people, Liberians in the diaspora, they're sending back to Liberia, investing in initiative. But sometimes this initiative, I tend to caution it because sometimes the motive and how it ends and the purpose of doing it and the end means is just somehow, I can't imagine. I don't want to go about meaning, but sometimes the places we put money is not the right place, not the fertile soil to invest money on. And sometimes also you as a person who presenting the program to the people, there's a way you have to do it in order to get that support. Because they are working for that money. You don't just expect them to give you money like that without knowing properly well how the money, how it's going to yield benefit for the country. There are patriotic Liberians out there. So we intend to work along, Mr. Devine, on the program. We work more and more projects when we have time from school, and we can see how best we can contribute to our country. Because for me, from the very first time I left the national debate competition, a lot of time I want to just sit on the shoulder. I had a situation where on my graduation that I received a scholarship from the Unity Party. And after the graduation day, I was to go to the headquarters to have discussion. And then someone came to me and said, no, I cannot be educated by a political party. Now, I don't say the party is bad, but I'm very careful how I deal with politicians. Because I see a lot of my friends, very zealous, they can talk. They say they are intellectuals, they are this, but I just see them all on the social media having very useless conversation. Better going a local help for politicians. These are not helping our country. So if you want to have a political party, if you want someone to sing behind you, to wear your shirt, to be a billboard, don't call me there, because I will not be with you, will not go anywhere. Don't call me there, I'm not interested. Even if whatever you have, I'm not interested. Whatever lucrative thing you have, I'm not interested. But if you want to develop an educational program, if you want to develop program in various sectors of our country that can live our nation, call me. I will volunteer free of charge. I will be there whenever you need me. I will be there free of charge. You have an initiative, you have a school where I'm back in Liberia, I can go there, sit with the young comrades, we can talk about debate. There's another program, engagement of Devine, on I saw the comment section, Mr. So highlighted, someone was talking about courtroom. I'm a very passionate person. I love law, and I want to study at the very epic of law. I want to be a good lawyer. And when I was coming on this myth, people always used to tell me that if you lawyer, if you die, they will bury you on your back. If they will bury you on your stomach, they will bury you this. That thing resonated with all of the guys in my school. And every time someone with passion wants to be a lawyer, they say, oh, when you die, they'll bury you that way. You have to join society. And all of these things, they accepted them. So I reached a point in time that I tried to understand, I tried to desire to be a lawyer, start to be motivated to be a lawyer. I said, but how can I help all Liberians back home who have legal ambition? I'm not saying everyone in the country should be a lawyer, but how can I help them? And then this program came to my mind, the MOOC code. The MOOC code competition is a competition for inspiring lawyers. People from high school, they do it like a normal law case. You don't even have to go to Temple of Justice now or to go see some of these counselors making their case. You can have the MOOC code competition. You can develop young people from across the country. I propose that to Mr. Devine. We'll work on that on Youth for Change. We can develop young people in high school who want to be lawyers. We can bring them to the courtroom. They have it in South Africa. They have it in Botswana. They have the competition across East Africa or West Africa. Some of the countries in West Africa. These are the discussions people are having, not to be behind politicians and other things. The MOOC code will actually inspire a lot of young Liberians to disabuse their mind that when you become a lawyer, you're not coming die or you coming lie. There are a lot of things we can do. So it's also not only about becoming lawyers, about educating people, young people about the law, knowing the law says. There are a lot of law we have on the book. And like Mr. Devine said, the conversation we've been having in the national debate is not just the ordinary competition, the conversation for quizzing. Remember, we had a very lengthy discussion at the American Embassy where we were able to convince them on the issue about the non-Negro citizenship, Article 27B. We debated that clause at the American Embassy, and the Americans who were there, they were very impressed by the young people understanding of the national issue. But I don't know how many young people I can speak for in my capacity, but I know that we have to carry on this conversation. And like the professor said, these are very productive conversations we should be having. And I want to work with the professor along the line that he stated about the issue of reviewing what our students are actually being examined on, what they want to know. We have to change that whole system of the what is, and this and that. So there are a lot of things we have to work on, and I'm very grateful to Mr. So to be here at the level of the Liberian Student Association in Morocco, who the association interests I represent. We have a lot of programs too. We have a lot of things in the Puebla, and we work on it. And Mr. So always giving us the platform to do that. But once again, I want to say thank you to Mr. So for the opportunity, and it was great meeting the professor, Professor Zawolo. I hope we can work on things back because I have a very serious interest in bureau and might give you country to be specific. Now, political one, but I have a very serious interest because I've spent a lot of time there. And congratulations once again to Mr. Ellis Devine. We hope to work more and more. And whenever you need me, Mr. Devine, I'll be there to volunteer, and we can see how best we can push Liberia forward. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure being here.
Okay, student John Sengwe, that's the student leaders of my in Morocco. There, thank you so much, John. Yeah, Professor, make your final
leave, and I just want to tell John, it was good having you. I sent you a connection request for LinkedIn. I'm already connected with Mr. Devine, and then we'll talk. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Okay, I will get you on Facebook, and then we'll talk. Hopefully tomorrow you hear from me.
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. He has a program to go to here. Okay. Let we have Mr. Devine. I know it's late now. To make a closing final argument here. Before we can let you go, I know it's a little bit late here, but we are happy we celebrate what you are doing because you reel it in the vanguard, in a very authentic fashion for the young generations. That's the preparation. That's the best thing we can do. And your work is concrete. It's not abstract. We don't have to feed you our way. It is visible. We see it alive and well. One is that's what I decided to reach out to. And he was offered. So now, Liberians are listening. We are in the diaspora. People are back home. People in other places, they are listening. And especially when it comes to this sort of civil education with the electoral process, it's very much important. And we are willing here. I'm quite sure when we have the discussion with our board of directors, LP right here, I don't think they're going to have a problem because they are following the substance of the conversation. And by even the nomenclature of our institution, more or less, we try Liberia first, and we do it in such a way that information is proportional. We don't want to disadvantage information, so we do it in an open context. So, okay, can we okay, just I was saying, I'll put a number that we can do it absolutely. So, I think this is a very task, but the sooner the better. It is important that we tell people we can't let it. The strategy of these politicians is to make us to well out like a tire without end into you or whatever. So then then they have their way. But I don't think we have to get tired because if we get tired, it means we are neglecting and deserting our country. It's time for us to have this conversation. And sometimes I don't blame these people because things are hard. So whatever comes in their way, it takes a couple of courage to talk to them. Hey, because of your decision here, this is what we are. This is what we found ourselves today. People are there for 6 years, 9 years. One way your son be senator, one way your daughter be senator. They're not going to resign. I don't care whatever they will never resign. And after 9 years, there's nothing guaranteed. They will go back again. What is that? So I think there are a lot of things that we need to do if we really mean well for our country, but it has to be done in a civil context with a real conversation so that people will see the line that they want to be. So, Ambassador, I want to thank you so much for such an extraordinary award. Name being placed in the bags of great war leaders. But you know what God there for you, Shazi. And we here at LPR with our fans, I can quickly say that we celebrate you because it's not just about you, but you know what? Liberia is being counted on the world stage as a sovereign nation. And they have good people there. So we really, and we really want to appreciate the vice president because that was a timely intervention. She was like, okay, just send me a passport, I'll go to the put a bank. But I think she's an educator and she presented herself as leader to get ready. Let's go. So I know that she knew exactly what it was. So we want to thank her so much. We really appreciate this for the intervention. What can you leave with us before you go? For me, your mic. Your microphone is okay.
Thank you. I'm resolved. I'm even overly energized. Of late I've been thinking. Of late I was being I'm a human being. I was down about the way the country was going. I was taking a decision to just step aside for a while, get out of the country, all that. But I'm going to Ghana and having the opportunity to sit with the vice president and also looking at how young people are thinking across the continent and looking at how we are so small money in this country. Looking at the kind of people, the way I see the people, the young people are aspiring, and it just put me in a position to know that Liberia is actually unfortunate land. There's nothing absolutely has happened in this country, and my resolve is just more stronger to help this country in any way I can. So I'm here. I'm going to work with my team. John, this is a commitment I made to the vice president, to myself, of this civic education across this country. I know we've spoke about it many times. And I like to say, let's do this. I call it our legacy project. We want to test and see the outcome of how people vote if we do this education and see what the result will be. We can't keep going the same cycle all the time. Our country deserves better. And we can't keep making stupid mistakes, like somebody voting for $10, somebody voting for a cup of rice. That thing is silly. It should not be happening in this 21st century. It's absolutely silly. Our people should be making decisions based on information and not based on cup of rice. It's an insult to us. And you can't blame the people because actually they don't even know. Our mom in the village, our people in the village, we have to go there. We have to be on a farm. We have to scratch farm with them. We have to cut palm with them. We have to tell them the reason why they're cutting palm. We have to go to the Gold Creek, the money, those diamond everything. How can a country that has natural resources, you can only see the whole. You can see the measurement of the whole through development. All the time we've been digging hole. So what the diamond then been going on? So the diamond they go back digging for inside. Go Grand G county in your county there. If I pay from you go Grand G county, you see the whole there. So what they do with all the money? So then it means a problem with leadership. The problem now we need to start educating our people to know what it takes. So that project is a legacy. I hold that project dear to me. That project will do it. We'll put the data together. We'll measure with before and after in terms of the way how people vote in this country. We'll make sure that project goes to BBC. We'll make sure that project goes to Al Jazeera so the people can know that Liberians are ready now. We can't keep doing this thing in this country. We deserve better. So, John, I want to commit you to this project. Let's do this. Let's do this. One guy I met over there, he has a PhD. He's a voice in Nigeria. He was the host. The guy is organizing a program, a project I already wrote. John, I was sending to you. I'm not going to call on the show because Liberian people, they can still add here. They can't do nothing, just sitting to idea. I'm not going to call about sense. You can look at it.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You put a copy and paste.
Before they go copy and paste, so I'm not telling you. We just take them by surprise. But the proposal is almost done. So I was saying to you, look at it. But the guy is a voice. The man, when I man speak in Nigeria, when I look at fly and listen, I just be laughing. Are you kidding me, man? How you be that kind of voice? You got control over the young people. If our president should salute you, so president should submit to you. When you speak as fly as president, one guy in Nigeria, the man can bring almost 7,000 young people every year in the stadium of Nigeria. The guy was at that program. 7,000. They come to discuss their issues.
No,
I'm just resolved. In essence, I'm just resolved. I'm more fired up to help my country. But thank you for this opportunity. We look forward to doing more. We committed ourselves to this. Like I always told John, and I sent him my story one time to review and make some and correct some stuff on it. And I called it my journey so far. And when I recounted my journey, the place I come from, I was in a village. I was cutting part of the people say it's in a divine, and I just want to divine. I come from in the heaven. I am a struggling young man who came from nowhere. I hunt with dog, I scrapper, I fair tree, I copper. All that thing I'm talking about, I jump cool. I know what it means to lie down on bamboo stick. I know it means to lie down on ground on the floor with lapa on the ground, nothing there. I know it means to put the red straw together and sew it like a mattress to lay down on it. I know it means to walk 8 hours from your village to a nearby town to sell either bag of rice or to sell meat or hello to sell and pay your school fees. I know what that thing means. I know struggling. I know hunger. When I was in that village, those moments, those times, I made a commitment to myself. No young person deserves to go through the same thing. So what I do is not a job. It's a calling. It's a divine calling. That's why every time the way I do my things, the way I do it is because God himself has assigned me to this. So I'm fired up to help this country. If that's the least thing I will do. Even I work in government before, I work because I haven't worked before, by the way. I've never worked before. I don't get no bank account to say somebody get bank account, all that thing. All the thing I do. If I were really, if this thing was a job, but instead I feel that it wasn't, I'm a young man. I mean, I got a family, I should settle down my family, all that. But we're doing it for this country. And it's an assignment, we keep doing it because that's our passion. And that's what God has called us to do. And I'm excited at least we can see some of the products with the John, Euben, Beulah, Fetela, Sata, Rafika, all these young people across the 15 counties. There are many of them. Even today, when I'm no more, when I'm dead, there are many.
Just move out a little bit. There's internet service in Lpr-Tv.
Yes. So thank you for this opportunity, and we look forward to being engaged more in the future.
Yeah, Ambassador, I mean, anytime, any hour, let's get a conversation. The professor put a nail right on the head. Let's keep the ball rolling, John. In fact, one of the students, I believe he's the Secretary General of the guy that is students in Morocco, Emmanuel. He's a white guy. So, yeah, are you hearing me? You getting us? Oh. The internet acting crazy now. Well, anyway, the message is already out there, so I want to thank you so much. John, you want to say something? Oh, John too. I think John too is first.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, Mr. So. Thank you so much, and you've been following with the progress of the Librarians Association in Morocco. So we just let to close on that. Like we always consider you as the friends of the students. Always with the student, the Lpr-Tv family has always been with us. And recently, we also sent you a flyer expressing our interest to honor Liberian students because you quite follow the situation in Morocco. There were times where people say, "Oh, students were here, there was no progress in this." And between the time, we have had about 18 students who have graduated, including medical doctors, geologists, and other people. So we've decided as an association, as the leadership of the Liberian Student Association, to honor these students. So we've been working across the clock. So on the 24th We'll be gathering at the hall in Rabat, respecting the COVID-19 protocols. We'll be inviting dignitaries, Moroccan authorities, and other people to honor these students, to tell them thank you. Some of them who got PhD and other things, to tell them thank you, and to tell the Liberian, the government of Liberia, that indeed this initiative or the scholarship is productive and things that I also, in closing, I'd like to say a happy birthday to our SG, the Secretary General of the Liberian Student Association. Today he celebrates his birthday. I want to say long life to you, Brother Emmanuel Sewa, computer student. Yeah. Today is his birthday. Just yesterday,
in
we were
fact,
together.
Let me put his product here because I told him, look, we have to. Let me put his product here. You see here, what you see here, say LPR with the number Lpr-Tv on air. That's the work of Emmanuel. He did this.
Great.
I've been just sending him a text. Let me just showcase some of the things. You see here, LPR. Every day people asking me. I say, yeah, let me know. And that the guy boy, the men are students, so they don't just make him do it. He can't just do it for nothing. And I told him here. I mean, he's a perfect RT guy. If you want to have a professional website, whatever you want to do, you can reach out to me, reach out to you. He's on Facebook. I told him to do something like a video commercial so we can showcase here as well. Whatever you learn, you have to live by it. Oh, wow. I didn't even know today was his birthday. So you see here, this is a very beautiful layover that he did. You won't believe how long we've been struggling to get this thing work. And Emmanuel, after I talked to you, boom, he just get it going and stuff like that. So, well, Emmanuel, we want to say a happy birthday. I'm going to get to you behind the scene. Yeah, go ahead, John.
Yeah, so happy birthday to you, Emmanuel. And then in addition, there are a lot of these people. We have the students here. We believe that we are the generation of Liberians that are charged with the responsibility. There's no, we are future leaders. No, we are leaders now. And we should start to behave responsibly. We should try to apply what we've learned in our respective field. He's an computer student and he's doing this. We believe that the technological aspect of Liberia, we can have some transformation. Every set of our country requires some level of transformation, and we, the young people, should see that as an opportunity. So as I wind down, just want to say bon nuit to all of our students, Liberian students in Morocco, and to the follower of LPRC, myself. I'm a fervent follower. I want to say thank you for the time and keep following this platform, because always I follow Mr. So. It's not about him. It's not about bringing big fish. It's about discussing the issue without fear and favor. With respect to no political partisan line, this is the best platform I recommend to anybody to follow. And I hope that in the future we have the opportunity to be here more and more to try to contribute our little token. But the young people out there, if you have a relationship with a politician or you want to go into politics, go there with a different motive, not the regular thing. That I can talk, I can mobilize my friends so I can be representative. There are preparation. If you want to lead our country, you have to prepare yourself, because the war is moving forward and we have to follow as well. So thank you, Mr. So, even though it was not easy for me, because right after I dropped this place, I should be on the next available train and going directly to Rabat, because I live 5 hours from Rabat, so I have to be there because the program is Tuesday. So to all the students across Morocco who is following, we want to tell you that Tuesday will be the on program, and Tuesday also, hopefully, today I will be doing my farewell speech as the president of the association, and I wish the association well, but I will not be the president after that. Let the other people bring their idea. A lot of people who have worked with us also. So thank you, Mr. So, and wish you all the best. Bon nuit as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, John. What folks, that way you have it. It's good to give people the opportunity. John is, he has been very, very helpful during, most of you remember during the student event, what about Miss that were going on with the GOL, and as young as he is, he stood his ground. He was able to talk to the students, and things were able to be well coordinated. They did not give up. Some people say, what are you doing there? Let them go home. We're quick to dash hopes. We're quick to, cast people out. Now, see, people are graduating, doctors. These are young generation. These are people that we can trust. The contrary, not these folks that we have now. Most of these people, and they are all brain dead, but we just have them. This is why they have these bad policies. And that's what get us to be where we are. Well, folks, I'm Alfonso Zienso. You listen to Ambassador Ellis Devine. We want to thank you so much, Ambassador. We hope to have this sort of conversation. And Mr. Zilit, I mean, you really made it really valid point here. Yeah, these people, they need to go to see courts, the parliament, and see, because they are preparing. How many of our leaders, when they come, are building this, are buying this, are doing this? That's it, because it's all about themselves. It's not about the country. Or they try to do time from time to solidify their financial strength. They're doing these things so that we'll be able to have dominion, so that we'll be able to control and regulate the lives of ordinary people. And that's why you're seeing them doing They do not fight to make institutions survive. That's why you see all of them now having rehabilitation center. Nobody is making a projection as to how that rehabilitation center is going to continue. What becomes of that rehabilitation center when you no longer senator or representative? How are you going to support it? When you have the government National Rehabilitation Institution there, nobody have time to eat. And they do have the power to put a piece of legislation together, if it is not even working now, to make it more viable, to get it out there to the international community. If you were to do a census on the plight of the young folks, the young generation, people of their behavior, people of their doing, and for which they're now being tied with this name called Zogo, it is then they brought what we are in today. So when you see go there to take one or two persons, people of their own, where they found their interest, and everything is in Morovia, what happens to the rest of the 14 political subdivision? What happens to that? Nobody can provide explanation. So it is sickening when we have people who are seeking national office, state offices, want to be president, want to be senator, want to be representative, and they cannot have this sort of conversation. But yet you criticize. Yeah, it's good to criticize, but what are you putting in place that is not happening now? What are you putting forward? What can we hear from you? You're telling me I will do it. How are you going to do it? The process, the methodologies that you're going to use, the method that you're going to use to get it done. That's what I need to know. And that's exactly what they were talking about. But yet they get their supporters. They get their town criers. They come. They don't even talk about their people's agenda. They first of all take 45 minutes to talk about themselves. To some point in time, impatient and curse their viewers, listeners, because somebody tweeted something that they disagree with. They black you. So that person is taking the message. You profess to be a talking person for your candidate. But because the person said your candidate is incapable or your candidate can't do it, and then you burst into flame, and you expect our country to progress, and you expect me to go with your candidate, when you can't even articulate the agenda, the very candidate you profess to support, you can't even tell her exactly what your candidate represents. But you are also intolerant, like how your political leader is intolerant. And then you want to sell somebody agenda. That's the problem we are having. That's the situation we find ourselves in. But again, Liberia, Mama Liberia, and the people of Liberia, to some extent, if not all, that's the situation we find ourselves in. You don't question your leader. You don't even raise your finger up. And they do not even have the guts to even tell one of their own that is support to say, yes, even though I support you, I believe you. They don't even have a political ideologist, nothing. They are unable to question the leadership style, the political tolerance, their ability to resolve and bring people together. Everybody running on a hard 220 vote current, very impatient to explain, to tell people what makes your own much better than that, how you're going to do it differently. But people are freaking out with all sort of crazy things. Come and start cussing. You either cuss the president, you either cuss the opposition, and then you are being celebrated. You do crazy thing, you go to jail, and then when you come back and you think you have become King David. So it has become a norm. Go act crazy on the government. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they don't. But go to jail and then they come. I was jailed, I was done this, I was did it. Those were not the arguments of Nelson Mandela. After I have 29 years in that sort of solitary confinement. I believe, so guessing if it was a Liberian, they would stay in power for another 29 years. But this is the guy who believes in something of a country to liberate his country. And he went into that solitary confinement. When he got out of there, 1 year was just sufficient. And he retired with distinction and honor. Here we are. People are scrambling, fighting, because they want to get state power. Because you know why? It is the state resources that are keeping them to get us to be where we are. So it's not going to be an overnight event. We need to have these conversations, authentic, genuine, and question to one of your own. Why he want to be senator? Why he want to be president? Why he wants to be vice president, minister, director? And let us have a conversation. That's why some of them are very selective. They don't want to know what they choose where to go because people should get them oatmeal questions or anything they say yes, yes. Unfortunately, it is forbidden on this network. However, you come here, we'll give you the respect. We'll give you the chance to explain, to tell us your part. And we'll value the comments and views. This is why, for the most part, 99% that I can say, so proud of our follower fans. So even if they're doing it out there, when they come here, they don't do it. And that's why we always try to present ourselves the best way we can so that people will listen. Do you know how many people, if you come on as a Liberian and begin to talk about your country, sometimes it becomes so embarrassing for some of us that work in other places with different nationality, even in school, and this sort of conversation comes out. To be an advocate is not an overnight thing. These are all political advocates. And that's why I tell them nobody is advocating for me. I can talk for myself. Because these people, what they are doing, it is for themselves. I'm telling you. I'm doing it for the Liberian people. You're not doing no damn thing for us. Not for me. Yes. I'm pissed because there are things going on. And people profess this one is my this one is my this one is my Messiah. No one is my Messiah. Because at the end of the day, they say they're advocating, they're going to come out, use these very dishonest Liberians, and then they will come out, they say I should go run as a representative. They say I should go run. You can't have it both ways. No, you want to be an advocate, be an advocate. That neutrality must be there because you are speaking for the people. Now, when you have a political alignment and you're telling me you are advocate, you're not no advocate. No, they have social advocates, different types. But most of our advocates, they are political advocates. They are doing it to pave their way to state power. Because somewhere, somebody became some sort of overnight advocates and they are holding state power, they are enjoying state resources, their life has transformed overnight. So they're like, oh, you think I can say that here too? I can do the same thing. That's what they are doing. That's why we see all of these drama unfolding within our political system. I don't know whether somebody was just killing or doing something. I hear him say another political party. Let me put it down here. Ellis, Mr. Ellis, I would love to talk to you. We are about to launch a political party in Bon County, Liberia, called Kokatuna Negro Party of Liberia. Here we go. Mr. Mike Yakama, I hope I'm calling your name. Send a message. Let me put my number here. I have interest. Everybody have the right to run. Let me put this number here. If you can save this number or you can send me inbox. I have interest in knowing what that party is all about. Yeah, and we can have that conversation. We don't know until we can see there. So that's my number there. Let me just make it public here: 682-433-8802. So if you can call us, if you can give us a call, believe me or not, we will also have you here. We don't disadvantage people with news, but the substance of the news, that's why it's much important. Well, folks, it's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I want to thank you so much for your time, for your evening. This Sunday here, please be safe. It's horrible out there in the East Coast, and I believe other places as well. So drive with care. For those of us who will still be going to work in other places. But on a serious note, the issue of our country is very much alarming and concerning. 2023 is ahead. And I think we must ask these people, don't just vote. It's pressure. Come on. Don't just go like that, man. I will leave you with this song here, and I'm going to be closing it up here for the rest of the evening.
You reach or you pull, you not no book, it doesn't matter how you look. We not asking for presidential degree, like the one like they can't do the plenty steady. We want anyone with bad connections, support that war or even broad ammunition. We need a typical Liberian with a clean hand who get love for his motherland. The belly, open your eyeball when you go vote the belly. Know who ought to vote for you kissy man, so you voting for kissy man. For what type of listen, bend it all our team by la skin. Check it, find it, don't get too blessed. We all the media up, but yeah, then still we is stress. See, all the way we not plenty. How we on the love make a daily to relay. They want eat till they lick like air bowl. While the poor people, there's someone that's sleeping in the cold. And y'all was thinking when you up, you up. Now we going way up, nobody can even talk. Show me your friend, I will tell you who you are. Like, oh, why in you bottle your belly, top of the car. You be up. Anything you want buy. You be up. Even the food you want eat. You be up. Ready, go. So let my you want drink. You be up. Sit. Then the hook on the side. You be up. Look up. Best for reference that you be up. Look up. Transportation that you ready up. Look up. Children's school fees that you be up. Oh. See. Back a real when they tie 10 men on 1 cup in the morning for breakfast. We not thought we tired. Children's school fee that claim me higher. So many people in the yapping, no money for that reason someone that dying. They talking we more lembo. You feeling like they both to get a job like who you know. Check it when you not have fit connection. And people they will never hold your application. Everything flying delicate. The government talking saying they have the control over press. Yeah, foreign dog can eat the best. Because when they bring the goose, they give it to her for her press. Then they talking about him alright. Every day we hear him never lick, never eat the man. The people who said in the suffering, they looking for their living, then they do a messy scene. There's so much buzzing pakana. Look good medication, some of them trust a tear. Our parents' salary can come on time. So before they want and they finish credit all around. Yo, every day they market how I'm cool on my measure board. Ready see it on the ground. You be up. Anything you want buy. You be up. Even the food you want eat.
I love this guy music here calling Mr. Kolokwa. Everything is UP up. That's how we're going to do it. The men from all of the counties, Uncle Pete, our man, Michelle Bowers, and all of these beautiful people, including our own chairman of the board of directors, here chilling with us here this evening, Mr. Jalaro. Thank you, and all of you beautiful people. If that's the first time here, make this network your home network. Subscribe. We are on Facebook, on YouTube, and our Twitter handle as well. And by the way, if you have a business, you can also advertise. To you, our follower, we don't usually do cash app here because just what student Simba was saying. If you're asking for something, you have to tell people exactly what you want to do, and even if they be able to come back to give report to them. But we gave and we turn our back because we gave these people and we don't even ask them for accountability. That's how the politicians emulate from them. We give these organizations, we give. Well, it's good to give. I don't say don't give, but when you give, tell people what you are given for, and they should be able to come back to you to tell you exactly why the finances what you're given for. We'll be coming to you at some point in time. We are still working behind the scenes, what our vision, what we intend to do, where we want to take your Liberia Public Radio. For most of you in this country, you know exactly the National Public Radio, NPR. And that's exactly start. We are modeled. We have a conversation with them. If you look at all things considered, these are programs of the National Public Radio. And National Public Radio in the U.S. is traditionally been supported by the citizen. Yeah, we ourselves are doing like my own state. Every Monday there's some sort of fund to raise. Or you call, you give your $5, you give your $2, and all of that. But when it comes to our community, there's a different way of doing it. However, we will be coming to you, just giving you a heads up. But before we even kick off that process, we will unveil, we'll tell you precisely what we want to do, where we want to take this network, because we want to empower you. But in that process, it comes with ultimate sacrifice or sacrifices to get us where we want to be. Until then, folks, I'm Afonso Z and Sot of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Thank you for sharing your Sunday with us here. By God's willing, same time, same station, we're going to be here. And just to let you know, not to keep you up in the air, I will be off for a week. So it means my Wednesday edition, hopefully the Liberal are going to sit in. I don't know what's going to happen. But I will be back the following Monday, Wednesday, because this coming Sunday I will not be sitting in. As of tomorrow, I'm going to be going on a time off. More or less, you already know. So I will not be on air. So until the following Sunday, hopefully by the grace of God. But until then, thank you so much for your time, for your support, and please stay safe during this horrible season here. If you have not administered your COVID vaccine, please try to do so. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I will be so ungrateful. What am I young? Tato Bemo. Tato Yeso. Thank you, Lord, for all you have done. If I don't thank you, I will be so ungrateful. Thank you, Jesus. Holy Kanyo. Tato. Hey, Tato. Tato. Kanyo wayo. Apart from you, there is no other God. Every other God, the so counterfeit. I try to do feel me. I try every other God, and they all let me down. They all say I should give something for something. Let me know for the sacrifice before they can bless me. What says submit to you? You never asked before I die. You keep on showering your blessings all over me. If I don't praise you, if I don't worship you, what's that what I do? You can't make me Tato, hey Tato, 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 Kanyo wayo, Tato, hey Tato, 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 Kanyo wayo. You are my light, you are my light. Daddy, you uphold my trust. You are my strong, you are my defender, you are my provider, everything now you. If I don't praise you, who else would I praise? If I don't worship you, who else would worship. Hey, você monta do pé, you fire, me tá do pé ba. Tato. Yes, so mo koyo boleo. If I don't praise you, who else will I praise? If I don't worship you, who else will I worship? Hey, você monta do pé, you fire, me tá do pé ba. Tato, yes, so mo koyo boleo. Tato demo.
Welcome to Fiber Queen off of Woodland. Everyone that's looking for a nice African for wedding, whatever fiber you need, you can just come over here. You have all this nice stuff. If you need ashebi, you guys can come over here for baby shower, for wedding. You guys are welcome. She have really nice stuff. You can see all over there, all those men over here. You don't have to go to the theater and then they're going to be telling you all kind of stories. You can just come here. They're already made. And for ladies, you can just look for whatever fiber you're looking for and match it for the men. And, your husband already have a shirt made. You can get stuff for your kids. You can get stuff for the whole family. We have African slippers and ashobi hair ties all over. We have different kinds of lists and everything. So you guys are welcome, okay? It's really nice. It's Fiber Queen on Woodland, 6695 off of Woodland. 6625 Woodland Avenue, okay? So you guys are welcome. You have nice stuff here for ladies, for men, for kids, and for everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia. Fabric Queen of Philadelphia is 100% African-owned business. At Fabric Queen, we are specialized in high-quality wax product, Swiss lace, jewelry, and beauty products that will make you shine like the queen of fabrics. We are located at 6625 on Woodland Avenue, 10 Philadelphia. Telephone number 215-800-0228. Tell the management of Fabrics Queens in Philadelphia is easy and salt of the Liberia Public Radio gives you this message. Tell all Akwaba.
Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
I'm a customer of Uncle Musa. I came here to get some things from grocery. Their things are so nice. They never get expired. They are the best quality. They have the best price ever anyone can get. They have so many things like cream, like meat, a lot of kind of meat. We have so many kind, and it's the best grocery store I've ever seen here in Woodland. We are located at the 65th and Woodland. If you want, I really appreciate you guys to come over to come and patronize with us because they sell the best quality.
Uncle Musa's Groceries on Woodland Avenue, 6523 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA. Musa's store is composed of varieties of African food as well as Americans, but predominantly African food. You have dry fish, you have cassava, you have yams, you have plantains, bananas, and Musa even goes out of his way to pay people extra to cut the potato grains for customers to save them extra time. We have deeper, we have fufu, we have the refrigeration center, then we also have cosmetics. This is a place to come in Philadelphia. If you come to Philly, you don't reach to Uncle Musa's Groceries, you have not made your trip complete. Welcome, and we look forward to seeing you sponsoring our business. Thank you.
This is Uncle Musa's store. 6523 Woodland Avenue. It's the only store, a grocery store, that deals with African stuff. Anything African thing you can get in Uncle Musa store. I am from Igbo in Nigeria. So in the Igbo Dum, onye obula wo onye Igbo. Ya bịa na Uncle Musa store, 6523 Woodland Avenue. Oya bog enwete anything we hear ndị Igbo na-eri. Welcome to Uncle Musa Grocery, 6523 Woodland Avenue in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The business, we have a business on grocery store or African food, all West African food from Liberia, mostly Liberian food. And we have a palm oil imported from Liberia, and we have a very good customer service. If a customer buy from Uncle Musa Grocery, you get bonus certain times, and things are very reasonable. We have a good palm oil. Anything you want from Africa, West Africa, you can get it from Uncle Musa Grocery. We do retail and wholesale. So you can visit, we have a couple of stores in Philadelphia. We have one on 6523 Woodland Avenue, and another one is a clothing store on 6519 Woodland Avenue. And we have another one on Upper Darby, Gary Road. So you're welcome for shopping. Everything is nice. Customer service perfect. So that's it. Bye.
This is Lpr-Tv with Afonso Z and Soul, live from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. In today's discussion, we will highlight high-call issues from the motherland, Republic of Liberia, and issues affecting our community. Asking tough questions is vital to me to have my listeners and viewers informed with the sole purpose of demanding answers that are authentic and meant to be head-scratching situation. Oh yes, to add pageantry to the conversation, senior analysts and contributors of the Liberia Public Radio are here to dissect the conversation. From Baltimore, senior analyst Professor Asese Labozawo, CEO, Real Academy and Gideon's Polytechnic Academy in Liberia. Senior contributor Amos George is in Atlanta, Georgia, a critical thinker and critic of the GOL. And opposition, Lpr-Tv Foreign Affairs Analyst Leo Johnson's Executive Director, Empowerment Square, based in Canada, and President, Liberian Community in Canada. And on the radar is Lpr-Tv, liberal progressive, and host Conversations with Sam Saint Blaku Bronto in Studio B in Saxton, Sacramento, California, is also on the radar. And of course, the doyen, former state broadcaster at ELBC and ELWA, and former presidential aspirant, Republic of Liberia, James Gamia, is based in the Garden City of New Jersey, is here. I am your host and anchor, Afonso Zienso, of the New England Bureau Desk of the Liberia Public Radio. Come, let's join the talking point, fair, balance, and objectives in keeping news proportional. Be my guest.
Okay, quickly here before we go, I'm just getting the information here from our guys in Liberia. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can read it here quickly here. There's a special press release just coming up from our man, our national correspondent, Edo Colley, is monitoring what is happening. Let me see if I can transfer this on the bigger screen so that maybe you get a sense of it. So that we just maybe do a quick reading here. Just bear with me. What's going up, again, is strictly about Liberia, and so we have to do what we can to bring you up to speed. What is happening there is quite interesting. And I know some of you have seen the images from LAC compound number 3. The gentleman, mistakenly, we don't know here the details, but we also received that information yesterday that got killed. The pictures are very, very graphic, very, very disturbing. So we can put that, we can even show that as well. But let me just go back to this message here. Let me go back to this message that we're just receiving here. Hopefully we can, let me just send it in the group here and they will also have a chance to see it. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's see here. Okay, this is a press statement here. This press statement from the Liberal Party here. Liberty Party National Headquarters, 19th Street, Republic of Liberia, blah, blah. Press statement. Monrovia, August 28, 2021. So it just came out by Article 9 of the Liberty Party 2015 Constitution. So the political leader, Nyambli Kanga Lawrence, issued on the 29th of December 2020 to convene a special national convention of the Liberty Party to purposely to review and adopt in the proper settings a number of proposals submitted by the Constitution Revision Committee and to conduct the elections of officer. In furtherance of this order, a convention planning committee was appointed, headed by then Vice Chairman for Policy and Program, Mr. Martin S. Collet, now Secretary General. Upon the advancements of this committee and assurance that the workings of the committees were per constitutional provision, a special convention was scheduled to be held in the city of Bangabon County from the 22nd to 23rd, 2021. The special convention was held and scheduled and presided over by the political leader of the party. The adoption constitutional amendment was conducted and the elections of officers to steer the affairs of the party was held thereafter. By the established procedures, the meanings of the special national conventions as well as amended constitutions should have been forwarded to the presiding chair of the convention to validate that the meanings and final draft were aligned with what transpired at the convention. Upon authenticating the document and void of any complaints, the convention chair who presided over the special conventions and remains the political leader would then sign and approve the amended constitution, thereby legitimizing the documents for submissions to the National Election Commission. You saw what happened recently between Kanga Lawrence and that of Musa Ability. That's the continuation here. Additionally, the adoption of the amendment preceded the elections and the installations of officers with the consequences that the political leader who presided over the special convention and remains the political leader is competent official to ensure the authenticity of the document, despite several reminders about the process and request to have said document provided immediately following the convention. The above process was not followed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, something always happens. Something always happens. It was not followed as reported by the special convention. I'm also getting the message here that the chairperson has made an appointment, but that appointment is being rejected. Mr. Harrison Kanwe, I believe they appointed to go into it to have this investigation, but I've been told here by our correspondent, Harrison Kanwe, Harrison Kanwe, the former FDS boss, who was once on the ticket as well, has rejected the appointment. So a lot is unfolding in the motherland. Have a pleasant evening. We'll keep monitoring these developments coming out of Liberia.